Hello again, everyone, and welcome to UNO's Al Caniglia Field, where today the Kearney State Loper opened the 1988 season in their second game against the UNO Mavericks. Hello again, I'm Troy Berryman, along with my partner Sean Clark. We are proud to bring you tonight to today's ball game from Omaha. KSTV is proud to bring you all of the Kearney State Loper football games. Right now, I'd like to introduce my partner today, Sean Clark. He's going to have a little more information on today's opponent.
And the University of Nebraska Omaha Mavericks, under the direction of their coach Sandy Buddha, who is in his 11th season here at University of Omaha, with a record of 73-39. The Mavericks defeated the Antelopes just about 1 year ago today at 14-0 in quite a exciting game. Scoreless until the fourth quarter, when Rick Gale scored 2 touchdowns for the UNO Mavericks to give them their score. Last year, UNO passed, Todd Sadler passed 23 times against Kearney State, and this year against Wayne State last week, it only passed 5 times. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to go to a running game this year, or if they're going to stick with a passing game, a fair passing game like they had last year against Kearney State.
Claire Boroff entered his 17th season last week with a come-from-behind victory over Northern State of South Dakota. The Lopers were victorious 32-27. Trevor Pavich and Scott Chohan each ran for 2 TDs, and Darren Grauerholtz kicked a 27-yard field goal for Kearney State. Last week was the first time Kearney State won their season opening game since 1980. As I said, Coach Boroff is in his 17th season. His record is 103 wins, 49 losses, and 3 ties. Last week, Chuck Mosley led the Antelopes on the ground with 67 yards on 20 carries, and Trevor Pavich had 54 yards on 17 attempts. Quarterback Gary Hurd overcame a shaky start to complete 13 passes out of 23 attempts for 160 yards. So it was quite a balanced attack for Kearney State. We're looking for about the same thing today, Sean.
Yeah, one thing Coach Buddha says of Kearney State, the Kearney State is a team that always plays us very tough. Now that we have applied to get into the NCC, they have much more incentive to play well. So I feel we're going to have a very good game here this afternoon, although the temperature and the wind might play a factor in that.
That's right, Sean. It's 86 degrees at kickoff time. The wind is blowing out of the east, I believe.
I would say that pretty much covers it.
UNO set to kick off now. This is John Bonisi ready to kick off for the Mavericks. Travis Valine, number 16, deep, and I believe that's Doug Banks, also deep for the Lopers.
John Bonasi lining up to kick off for the Mavericks.
Battle of the Unbeatens today here at Caniglia Field, and we're underway. Ball comes down to Valine. He fumbles it, picks it up at his own 5-yard line. Not a whole lot of places to go, and he's down at his 13-yard line. That's where Kearney State will start. Looking at the starting lineups, across the line, Scott Biddicombe will play tackle. Dennis Fozzie, Brian Casper, Keith Hauser, Wade Robinson, and Don Lee is your tight end. The quarterback is 5th-year senior Gary Hurd, who played really very well last week. Fullback Scott Chohan. The starting tailback is Chuck Mosley. Split ends Doug Banks, and the slot back tonight is Ryan Siss. 1st and 10, Kearney State. There goes Siss in motion. Right up the middle, the first play of the ball game. That's Chohan. He's got limited yardage. That's how we thought the game would start, Sean.
That is very true. And on the starting defense for the UNO Mavericks is outside linebacker Mike Zeppelin, left tackle Rich Lutter, number 93, number 59 split linebacker is Todd Culp, nose guard Ken Maxwell, number 73. And as we get back into play, Kearney State, Hurt seems to be audibling. A little change in the defense there from what he was expecting.
Play action, he's got a man across the middle. That's Banks. Oh! In and out of his hands. Doug Banks had his eye on it.
Excellent coverage by
Gary Hurd for number 20.
Shane Stark, left cornerback for UNO, was right with him.
Hurt showed a little bit of maturity there. He faked to Mosley, dropped straight back and fired a bullet to Banks. He just could not hang on.
He was able to stay in the pocket. As in the past, he has wanted to scramble out of that. So I think that has to do with the offensive line too. They're putting up a good fight against a fairly formidable sized UNO line.
Brings up a 3rd and 7 from the 17-yard line now. Assists in motion again. This time a little drop play to Mosley. Breaks one tackle, shakes and bakes out across the 25-yard line. First down, Kearney State. Chuck Mosley got 9. He only needed 7. First and 10, Kearney State. I think this is what Claire Boroff wanted too, Sean. He wanted his team to come out, establish the running game, grind out a couple first downs, and see where they stood against this UNO Maverick team.
That is very true. The Kearney State offense has improved quite a bit in the past few years.
And running behind the right side of that line, anchored by 300-pounders, Hauser and Robinson, can't hurt.
That is no lie. As in last week when they took on little movement on the line by number 93. Flags are on the field, so there could be a possible encroachment, or Kearney State may have pulled him off. We'll have to wait.
Again, passing for Dutch Banks, incomplete. Flags on the floor.
Kearney State's clapping. Looks like it's going to be on the Mavericks.
Yes, it is. Rich Lutter jumped across the line, got a little anxious, which could be against the running game. He's on the left-hand side, so he's been sitting right in front of Robinson, so that may have triggered it a little bit.
Lutter was UNO's Defensive Player of the Week last week against Wayne State. He had 8 total tackles, including 2 for losses. We got to be calling his name quite a bit today.
I would imagine, but he does have 2 formidable opponents to go up against in Hauser and Robinson.
That's right. Lutter's lining up right against Wade Robinson. That ought to be a matchup to watch all day. Pitch to Mosley, looking for some room. He's got some room. He's around the right side. The right sideline, out of bounds. Going to be close to a first down.
I think he made it from up here. The way yes, I believe they're spotting it as a first down. Yes, he does. Mosley does get the first down.
Mosley showing some tough running. The first quarter last week, Mosley, in his first start, Mosley's a sophomore from Tampa, Florida. He had his first start last week, ran a little tentatively that first quarter. But as he got his legs under him, he continued to get better and ended up with 67 yards for the night. First and 10 Lopers at their own 36-yard line. That's Banks at the bottom of the screen. Counter to Mosley. Nowhere to run. There's Lutter.
Loss for yardage. You are watching KSTV Cable Channel 25 in Kearney, Nebraska. This broadcast is produced by students in the broadcast department at Kearney State College.
On that play, Sean, 93, or Rich Lutter, got the best of Wade Robinson. And Kirk Coleman, strong side linebacker, also came up to make the stop. Loss of 4 on the play. It'll bring up second 14 now. 12:50 and counting to go. First quarter. We're just underway. I'm Troy Bram along with Sean Clark and our cameraman Jason Adair, bringing you today's game between Kearney State and UNO.
Second and 14. Hurt looks like he's going to pass.
He's got a man. Complete.
Is it complete on the 40? So that'll bring up third down and about 6.
Pass was complete to the tight end, Don Lee.
Passing complete to Don Lee.
Kearney State continues to move. Here comes Valine in with the play. Kearney State showing off their brand new white road jerseys.
I look for Hurt to pass on this one. Third down and 6 until they can establish the run game a little better.
Sits in the slot, Valine at the bottom of the screen. I formation. Looks like he's checking off again, Sean. He rolls left. Got a man.
Oh!
Incomplete. Intended for Lee.
Thrown a little low. He dove for it, but it was just not quite able to catch it. So here comes the punting team.
Number 30, Dennis Duncan, on the coverage. Sorry about that, Sean.
No problem.
Fourth down.
Banks, the starting split end, pulls double duty today, as he did last week. He will punt for Kearney State.
It's going to be interesting to see how much the wind is going to affect the punting here this afternoon.
It's blowing right in Banks' face right now.
An excellent snap. It's a low kick, but has some good distance on it. Backing up.
Taking it to the 20-yard line. He's trying to get to the wall. Makes the first man miss. Jukes out across the 40-yard line.
So the Mavericks will be taking over on their own 41-yard line.
Returning that punt, number 20, Bob Gordon. He shook loose last week for a 73-yard touchdown reception. Quarterback Todd Sadler attempted only 5 passes last week against Wayne, but he completed 4 of them.
The ball's coming back. No,
I didn't see a flag.
I didn't see one either, but it seems to be a 15-yard penalty. on the Antelopes.
It'll be first down, Mavericks.
So UNO will start with excellent field position inside the Kearney State 45-yard line. The call was personal foul.
Could have been a late hit out of bounds.
That's right. So
because it was hard to tell from up here as to what exactly happened on that side of the field.
Todd Sadler has the controls. 11:35 to go, first period. LaRon Henderson in motion. Right up the middle to Napora. He's stacked up for a gain of about 2. Mike White and Scott Kovar, along with Matt Arts, there to make the stop.
Roy Napora, the ball carrier.
Napora and LaRon Henderson will handle most of the running back chores today. Napora will line up at the fullback spot, and Henderson, who rushed for 77 yards last week against Wayne State, he'll be the I-back. At the bottom of the screen, Gordon, the big play guy.
Second down and 8 as Stadler pitches off to number
Henderson.
Henderson.
Trying to get around the left side.
He's out of bounds at about the 38-yard line.
Number 11, Dan Gall, came up from his safety spot to make sure he didn't go any farther, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 now for Sadler and the Mavericks. Kearney State's really got to stay away from the big play. Last week, in addition to the long touchdown passes from Sadler to Gordon, Henderson also had a 70-yard touchdown run from scrimmage, and Abel Fernandez, the backup I-back, had a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So Kearney State's got to watch out for the big plays. Give again to Henderson. Not a lot of room. He squirms, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Looks like he got maybe 2. No, it only looks like 1 yard. So they're going to be 4th and 2. That'll bring on. Well, are they going to bring on the punting team, or are they going to go for it this early in the game?
Sadler's looking over at the sideline.
He's trying to get the call. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and
about 2, I'd say.
4th and 3, on the ball placement. So you look for.
It ought to be interesting. Early in the first quarter, UNO Coach Sandy Buda decides to go for it. I formation. Sadler pitched to Henderson. He's going to go try the right side.
And he's
not a lot to run. He cuts back
the other way. He has room.
He's got some room now.
First down, and he's on the
one man to beat Henderson.
And he's out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
I tell you, Sean, Kearney State couldn't do a whole lot more right. They stacked that play up to the right. Henderson just made a great play cutting back to his left.
He did about as much yardage across the field as he did going down the end of the field. Coming all the way around to the right-hand side and then having to turn around. Did a good effort on coming back to the left side and getting the first down yardage.
So, big play for UNO. That'll bring up a 1st and 10 from the Kearney State 16-yard line. The Lopers already with their backs against the wall. 10:03 to go, first quarter.
As of yet, Stadler has not passed, keeping the ball on the ground. And again, he keeps it on the ground.
This is Napora.
Roy Napora, the ball carrier.
Napora plunges forward for about 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 now.
Ball seemed to have cut loose, but UNO recovered.
Todd Suey on the stop.
Todd Suey, All-American candidate, made the stop on Napora, but not before he got 4 yards.
That will bring up 2nd down and 6.
High formation Mavericks. Now there goes
Fortunate
Henderson
for
in motion towards the bottom of the screen.
The Selvia.
So moving along the line, Napora gets the handoff and plunges inside the 10-yard line. I saw some motion. We'll have to see what the official interpretation is. It's going to go against Kearney State.
Kearney State.
So we'll mark off 5 more yards against Kearney State. That'll bring up 2nd short.
2nd and about a foot, I would say. Nope, about a yard.
5 yards offside. The ball will be at the 7. It'll be 2nd and 4.
The Kearney State secondary sure got to work out last week against Northern State. Jason Landmark, NAIA's top returning passer, burned the secondary for 377 yards, but they toughened up when they needed to and got the job done. Let's see if the defense can stiffen right here. I formation for UNO. The give is to Henderson.
Henderson nowhere up the middle. Kearney
State
stacks him up.
LaRon Henderson.
I see Arts, Suey, and Scott Yankee three of the Lopers there to make the stop.
And Scott Kearney.
We've got officials timeout. I think they're going to bring in the change to see
Going to measure it. Could be that old left foot, right foot situation, too. Well, the measurement came out in favor of the Mavericks. First and goal to go. So they've got four downs to get it approximately 6 yards to the goal line.
The front four for Kearney State, Gransky, Yonke, White, and Acker, really going to have to get tough against that big UNO front. The biggest of those is 79, John Engelhardt, 280-pound senior. High formation again. And a pitch again to Henderson. Trying the right side. He's got some room, and he's in there.
Touchdown, Henderson for UNO.
6-yard touchdown run for LaRon Henderson, and UNO draws first blood. They lead 6-0 with 8:26 to go here first quarter. A nice run there by Henderson. Kind of a USC student body right. They pulled quite a few people out there, and Henderson had a good escort into the end zone.
Yeah, Kearney State's going to have to toughen up their left-hand side. As you notice, they're staying away. They tried the right side a couple times. It didn't get anywhere, so Kearney State's going to have to work on their left-hand side.
This is Bonacy in for the extra point. He shanked it off to the right, no good.
So, with 8:26 left to go in the first quarter, Mavericks lead Kearney State 6-0.
John Bonacy had kicked 32 consecutive point-after touchdowns. That broke the streak. It's a UNO Maverick record, but it ends at 32 when he misses that one. 6-0 Kearney State. Bonacy will now kick off. Valine and Chuck Mosley back to do the returning.
KSTV Cable USA and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank the Palm Garden Lounge, El Charro del Norte Restaurant, Visco Sporting Goods, Nick's Euros, and Platte Valley State Bank and Trust Company for all the help in bringing you this KSC football game. As Bonacy backs up to kick the ball to the Kearney State Lopers after that 6-yard touchdown run, with the wind at his back.
Bonacy hammers it, coming down.
And again dropped.
Valine is going to have to down it.
Valine takes it in the end zone.
He's had trouble both times handling the kickoff. Now Kearney State will start from their own 20-yard line. 8:26 to go, first quarter. Trevor Pavich will do the duties at the IBAC this series. He and Mosley, although Mosley starts, they both play about the same amount.
Trevor Pavich had an excellent game in the first half last week against Northern South Dakota State.
Banks, the top of the screen, sits in the slot. Chohan and Pavich are your running backs. Simple dive play to Pavich, trying to look for some room, can't find much.
Trevor may have gotten 1 yard on that. We'll have to see where they mark his forward progression at.
Linebacker Mark Canuck came up to make the stop.
They gave him about a foot on that carry. And we have officials timeout. And play is resumed.
2nd and 10 now for Gary Hurt. A give right up the middle to Chohan, who crawls forward for about 3. But it'll bring up another 3rd and long, Sean. Something the Lopers really don't like to see is those 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 7s.
Yeah.
They'd much rather grind it out and end up with a 3rd and 1 so they could easily get the first down.
Stop. 3rd down.
I picked Gary Hurt to pass again on this one. His last 3rd and long he passed, except his pass was just a little short. Let's see how he does on this one.
Split backs now for the Lopers, trying to give UNO a different look. Straight drop for Hurt. Now he rolls to the right, across the middle, complete.
First down and then some.
Rod Thayer, backup tight end.
He gets to about the 33, 34-yard line. Looks like about the 33-yard line.
Thayer drug across the middle, and Hurt found him. He did a nice job running and making sure he got past the sticks for the first down.
Yeah, as he caught that ball, he checked where he was, saw the 30-yard line, then took off and got another 3 for bonus. A little icing on the cake, wouldn't you say?
First and 10 from the Loper 33-yard line. Give again to Pavich. Burst through the middle, and he gets about,
I'd say about
5 yards. Trevor Pavich. Mike Zeppelin, a linebacker, he'll be one of the standouts for the UNO defense, wearing number 40 tonight. Pavich should get 5. It'll bring up second and 5.
Zeppelin on the stop.
Lopers are on their own 37-yard line as they come up to the ball. High formation. Hertz looks over the defense. A little juggling around on the UNO defense there.
UNO looks like they want to blitz.
Looks blitz.
Here they come. Hurt rolls, fires quickly.
Yes!
Complete! There goes Banks down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him.
Banks is in for the touchdown.
Kearney State.
State scores.
The cornerback on that side, I believe it was Dennis Duncan, made a decision to go for the interception. He did not get it.
And Banks was able to just wheel past him and just kept going toward the goal line.
63 yards. Gary Hurt to Doug Banks. Banks did a lot on his own. After Duncan missed the interception, Banks turned on the Jets and scored. 6:05 to go, first quarter. Kearney State has tied this game up. This is Darren Grauerholtz trying to give Kearney State the lead.
So we have two totally different offensives here. Gary Hurt going with the pass and being successful with it. And Todd Stadler with the run and also successful. So we're going to be...
Darren Grauerholtz.
Kick was up and good by Grauerholtz, and Kearney State now leads 7-6. Big play. You wouldn't expect a 63-yard pass when you're talking about Kearney State football. You'd expect...
This is so true. This is so true, Troy. So for the first time tonight, or this afternoon rather, Grauerholtz will be kicking off.
We should give a little credit to the offensive line. They picked up the blitzing linebacker, I believe it was Todd Colt. He was coming, and he was picked up nicely by the left side of the Kearney State line.
Came up right through the center.
Gordon and Fernandez deep for the Mavericks.
They gave Hurt enough time to find Banks.
Enough to kick off for the Antelope.
And it also worked for Hurt's benefit to roll out to the left as the blitz was coming from the right side of, or to his right, as the blitz was coming from the right side of the Omaha line. Short
kick taken by Fernandez. He gets out across the 25-yard line, about to the 28, where UNO will start. First and 10. 5:58 to go in the first quarter.
UNO starting just a little bit deeper on this drive than they were last time. So if they'll stay with the run, or if Stadler will go to the pass like he did somewhat last year against Kearney State.
The UNO offense had an excellent drive, backed mainly by the running of LaRon Henderson. Let's see if they stick with that. They go split backs this time with Gordon at the bottom of the screen wearing number 20. The give is again up the middle, keeping it on the ground. Tackle made by Scott Kovar.
I'd give him 5, maybe 6 yards on that.
That was Pedraza carrying the ball that time. Pedraza's wearing number 37 today, excuse me. Picks up a second and 4 now from the UNO 34-yard line. I formation, Pedraza is the fullback, Henderson the I-back. Give this to Henderson. Got some room again. First down. Kearney State having a little trouble with that offensive line of University of Nebraska Omaha. And Henderson is racking up some impressive rushing statistics here in the first quarter. He comes out now, replaced by Fernandez, number 48.
With 5:10 left to go in the first half, it is Kearney State Lopers 7 and the UNO Mavericks 6. Mavericks have the ball on their own 40-yard line.
Split backs again now for UNO. 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. This time Sadler, straight drop, having some problems getting off, and he's sacked.
Kearney State was all over him on that play.
87, Todd Gransky came in to make the hit.
Number 42, Scott Schoen, was in on that pile too. So I would think with that play that Stadler is going to mainly stay on the ground.
I think so too. Kearney State had excellent pressure that time on Sadler. He really didn't have a chance to find any of his receivers.
They closed in on him from all sides.
2nd and 12 now for UNO. This time they go strong right. 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Sadler drops straight back again. 3 receivers in the pattern. He's hit as he releases it.
And the pass is incomplete to number 20, Bob Gordon.
Sean, that's Gransky again with great pressure on Sadler. He hit Sadler right as he was trying to get the ball to Gordon.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 12. First time the UNO Mavericks have been in long yardage on 3rd down. So it's kind of interesting to see what they're going to do.
That's right. And it's kind of interesting to see why the Mavericks went with 2 straight pass plays when the running attack was going so well. We'll see what they do here, 3rd and 12. Straight drop again for Sadler. 4 receivers in the pattern. He looks a little tentative. He's gonna go down again.
And they sack him one more time. So that'll be 2 sacks for the Kearney State offense in just this series alone.
That's number 99, Kurt Metzger. He will get credit for the sack, although I think a lot of credit has to go to the defensive secondary of Kearney State. They had the receivers bottled up real well. So on 4th and 19, we'll get our first look at Greg Childs, punter for UNO.
He's got the wind at his back, so this could potentially be a fairly decent punt.
Last week he had a bad game. He only averaged 30 yards a punt. We'll see if he can get off a better one here.
It's a good snap. No pressure from the Kearney State Antelopes.
End-over-end kick taken at the 28-yard line. Here comes Valine. He spins, makes a pretty nice return.
Gets up to about the Kearney State 38-yard line.
So the Kearney State Loper shows some defensive initiative right there, shutting down Sadler. And the UNO Mavericks, they give the ball back to their offense at their own 38-yard line.
If your campus or community organization would like an event listed on KSTV's radio video bulletin board, please call 234-8521. This is a free service provided by Kearney State through KSTV.
High formation Lopers. Mosley is your tailback again. This is Chohan, though, on 1st down.
I would give him 3 yards then. He makes it up to about the Kearney State 41.
Chohan, the ball carrier.
Chohan does get 3 yards. Bring up 2nd and 7 for Kearney State. 2:48 and counting here to go, 1st quarter. The Lopers lead 7-6.
2nd down and 7 on their own 41.
Pitch to Mosley. He's trying the right side. Makes the first man miss and gets out close to the 45-yard line.
So they'll be about 3 yards. Looks about, what are they going to spot it at? About 4 yards short of the 1st down.
This is more along the lines of the Kearney State football we were thinking about seeing. The 4-yard games and the not really a big play offense.
The short ground attack.
We'll see what they do here. 3rd and 4. Banks at the top of the screen.
Kearney State likes this much more than like 3rd and 8.
That's right. They love the 3rd and 3s. Sis in motion. Now he goes back to the strong side. Give to Mosley. He's got some room.
And he has a 1st down across the 50-yard line into UNO territory.
Zeppelin and 36, Shane Starks, up to make the tackle, but not before. Mosley gets the 1st down. Ball spotted right at midfield. 1st down, Kearney State.
Cole. Initial contact defensively. 1st down. All midfield.
Two tight ends for Kearney State. 1st and 10 at midfield. Right at the middle of Chohan. He's got some room. Chohan bursts up the middle, fights for more yardage.
Excellent second effort on Scott Chohan's part there.
14 big yards for Chohan, known mostly as a blocking back for the tailbacks in the Kearney State offense. This time Chohan got the ball and a huge hole up the middle, ran right behind center Brian Casper and guard Keith Hauser. The Lopers doing a nice job up front. Let's see if they run right behind Hauser and Robinson again, Sean. Valine goes in motion all the way across the field. They're going to pass.
Oh, little miscommunication on that one, I believe.
Pass intended for Valine, but like Sean said, a little miscommunication there. Valine wasn't even looking for the ball. They'll bring up 2nd and 10. Clock stops with 1:01 to go, first quarter.
Kearney State still sitting in very good position on the field and on yardage right now.
When you think of it, Sean, Kearney State's already scored more points in this game than they have in the past two against the Mavericks.
This is so true. What was it, 2 years ago, 10-0, and then last year, 14-0?
This is Mosley again, running really nicely around the right side.
Down to about the Maverick 31-yard line.
Mosley with 6 yards on first down, and for Coach Boroff, that's just got to be gravy right there. 6 yards on first down. That brings up a 3rd and 4. But these are the situations, like we've been saying all day, that Kearney State really likes. 3rd and 4. Clock running with under 30 seconds to go here at first quarter. Brad Aerosmith now in at fullback for Kearney. Straight drop. Hurt fires. Incomplete.
Same pass pattern again, and that was number 16. Valine went out again a little bit too far, had to dive back for it, and was just short of catching the ball.
Dennis Duncan was there on the coverage.
That'll bring up 4 and 4. Interesting situation. Will Kearney State go for the field goal, or will they go for it in the end of, coming down right to the end of this first quarter?
Kearney State, I think they are going to go for it. Into that stiff wind, I don't know if Grauerholz has the leg to get it there. 4th and 4 for Kearney State. Here comes Sis in motion. Now he goes back the other way. Hurt gives to Mosley, trying to get it.
He's not going to quite make it. He's going to come up about 2 yards short, I believe.
But I don't think Boroff is too upset with that. I think that's the Lopers really couldn't punt from their own 31-yard line. They might as well give UNO the ball at the 29-yard line. That's where UNO will take over.
So that would be only a difference, because if he punted it, he would either have to shank it very much to get it out of bounds, or it would have more than likely gone in and out of the end zone. So that would have brought it back to the 20. So I don't think Kearney State lost a whole lot there. And as you said, with this stiff wind coming out of the east, yeah, it seems to be out of the east. Check a little meteorology check there.
Got an equipment problem down on the field. We've still got 9 ticks of the clock left in the first quarter. Kearney State leads 7-6. And right now, if you're a Kearney State fan, you've got to be real happy with the outcome so far.
This game has been brought to you in part by the Fireside Inn, Molly's Motorworks, Frontier Liquor, Bogart Supermart, Copperfields, and LJ's Homes and Appliance Center. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank these businesses for their continued support.
First and 10 Mavericks.
Stadler looks over the Kearney State defense.
To give this to the tailback.
Right up the middle.
Another good run by Henderson. That'll be the final play of the first quarter. Henderson gets almost 8 yards on the carry.
Now it'd be Scott Kovar on the tackle of Henderson. And that does bring it to an end, the first quarter of play. with Kearney State leading University of Omaha Mavericks 7-6.
And that concludes your first quarter of play. Antelope 7, Mavericks 6.
Today's afternoon game
You can watch the highlights.
will be the only one this year on artificial grass.
Coach Sandy Buddha and Tori Fantilli.
Kearney State equipment executive Dick Collins said the Lopers take regular basketball athletic shoes to play on AstroTurf fields. That's what they've got on today. If it would have rained, they would have brought some turf shoes, but they got the old basketball high tops on today.
They got the high tops.
At 8:30.
Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m., KSTV News Magazine will inform you on the latest happenings in the Kearney community and in the campus. That's KSTV News Magazine every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Also can be seen Sundays at 4 p.m.
Coach Boroff told us that the schedule change is really a big thing for Kearney State. In the past, they've played UNO as their first game. This year, Kearney State's got a game under their belts, and they seem to be playing a little bit better. Second three for UNO. First play of the second quarter, Fernandez gets the call, but he's drilled right away by 87 Todd Gransky, who's been playing quite a game so far.
That's not going to quite do it for the first down. He's going to, well, it would have been second and
Todd Gransky on the stop.
2nd and 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 4.
So this third down play, what do you think the Mavericks have up their sleeves this time, Sean?
I don't know. They're going into the wind this quarter, so I'm pretty sure they are not going to be passing. In as much as the last two passing efforts they tried on their last series both ended in disaster.
Two wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. Pitch to Henderson, trying to get the first down, but he doesn't.
Excellent
Nice play.
tackle. Excellent tackle by number 40.
I believe that's
44.
Scott Yonke came up from his defensive tackle position and dumped Henderson for no gain.
Fourth down.
And
They
Go ahead.
place it back a little further, so it's going to be 4th and 4.5, and that'll bring on the punting team, I'm sure.
Lyons and Valine back deep. We'll get another chance to see Childs. This time he's got to punt into that wind.
It's punting into the wind, so Lyons and Valine on about their own 30. They're not as back as far as they would be had they been punting in the last quarter. Child's kick is up. The wind kind of drops. It's high spiraling punt taken by,
That's Valine making a fair catch at the 33-yard line.
this time he was able to hold on to it. So he's, I'm sure he had a few words with Coach Boroff after those first two kickoffs.
Might be putting in a little bit of extra practice on that kickoff return.
So Kearney State takes over on their own 33-yard line.
13:29 to go, second quarter. I'm Troy Berryman along with Sean Clark.
Good afternoon.
I formation for the Lopers. Pitches to Pavich. He cuts back. Makes a nifty little run.
Trevor's up the center for about 5 yards up to the Loper 38.
Pavich is just the epitome of quick. He started to the left, cut back on a dime, and ended up going back up the middle. He got about 5, as you said, Sean, to bring up 2nd and 5.
Be interesting to see now that Kearney State has the wind at the back if Hurt will pass some more this quarter, or if he'll stick with a running game.
Right up the middle to Chohan. He's out across the 40-yard line, but
Gets a
short
couple
yardage.
on that play. That'll bring up 3rd down and
3rd and a long 2, maybe.
3rd and, yeah, about 3rd and 3. 3rd and an even 3 is the spot of the ball.
Just underway here in the second quarter. Kearney State leads the UNO Mavericks 7-6.
Once again, as they line up, 3rd and short yardage in the I formation. Hurt looks like he's audibling again.
That's Sis in motion. The give is to Pavich, trying to get the first down. He does.
He's got the first down and then some. That'll bring him out to about the Loper Kearney State 47-yard line. Again, Trevor Pavich with awesome quickness.
That's right, he just blasted through the hole created by the line and got out over the 45-yard line to the 40, almost the 47.
Valine comes in for Sis on the next play, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the Kearney State 46. With Valine coming in, we may see splits down to the bottom of the screen. We may see some passing here.
2 wideouts for Hurt. still with that Loper trademark, the I formation. Play action given to Pavich around the left side. He tries to make a cut, and he does. He's out across midfield.
And where he is swarmed by red jerseys of the UNO Mavericks. Out to about the Maverick 49-yard line.
73 nose tackle Ken Maxwell, and 21 cornerback Orville Townsend came up to make the stop, but not before Pavich got 4 yards.
Bring up 2nd down and 6 in Maverick territory. So far, Gary Hurt has stayed on the ground and not thrown a pass this series or this quarter.
This time Lopers go 2 tight ends.
Movement on the
There's a flag. There's a flag.
That's going to be which will bring the ball back.
Got Chauhan, the ball carrier.
Refs are pointing to the Kearney State, so yes.
You're right.
False start by Kearney State. That would have been Scott Biddicombe.
So a mental mistake pushes the Lopers back into a 2nd and 11 position.
Into our second.
Now we got to see if Hurt goes to the air or not.
I would imagine Hurt's going to go for the pass.
Banks at the bottom of the screen, Valine at the top.
2 wide outs, I formation. Valine in motion. It's back to the top of the screen.
There's another mistake.
Flags all over the field on that one.
That was Don Lee.
Don Lee just got a little bit too anxious on that.
So that'll push the Lopers back even farther.
Went from one end of the line to the other on offensive fouls on this series.
So Kearney State making it easy for UNO this series.
Kearney State started out with fairly good position on this series with Trevor on this last run right here with Trevor Pavich in his 4-yard.
Motion penalty declined.
UNO declines the penalty.
That'll bring up 3rd and 11. 3rd and 14 because they did sack him behind. Did get Mosley behind the line of scrimmage.
Now we'll see what Kearney State can do with a 3rd and 14 situation. We'll see if Banks can pin the UNO Mavericks deep in the territory.
Hurt, being the first pass with the wind, probably didn't judge it quite as much as he had to with throwing against the wind last time. Low snap.
He gets it off. High kick. Taking it to the 22-yard line.
And
good punt coverage by Kearney State.
He gets up to about the UNO 28-yard line. So that'll start, UNO will start again fairly deep in their territory.
Ryan Siss on the stop. First down, Mavericks.
Ryan Siss made the tackle on the punt return. 1st and 10 UNO at their own 28-yard line. 9:59 to go in the first half. 7-6, Kearney State leads.
I would guess that UNO is going to stay on the ground. That seems to be their strong point so far this game. And I can see why Stadler only threw 5 times against Wayne State last week.
This time they give this to Pedraza. Pedraza just runs right over the...
Carrying 2 of the Kearney State Antelope offensive linemen with him.
Pedraza got almost 7 yards.
That'll bring them up to the Maverick 34-yard line. Bringing up 2nd down and 4. They gave him 6 on that.
2nd down.
Mike White hustled back to make the stop, but not before Pedraza got 7. Kearney State with 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Give us to Pedraza again. He dives for the first down. It's going to be close.
Jeff Pedraza, the ball carrier.
Going to be a placement call on this one.
Looks like he got a pretty good spot.
He got a real good spot on that one.
First down UNO. Kearney State trying to get some fresh legs in there now. Defensive tackle Jeff Essman comes in for White, and Kirk Metzger comes in for Scott Yankee. So 2 new defensive tackles in for Kearney State. First and 10 Mavericks at their own 39-yard line. That's Henderson in motion. To give his rep the middle to Napora.
Napora fighting to get his way, grabs about 3 yards out of that. Excellent second effort on Pedrosa's part on that play.
You got about 3. That'll bring up 2nd and 7 now for UNO.
September 20th, KSTV presents a program produced by the KSC Art Department entitled What I Love to Draw. It will feature animated cartoons done by KSC art students. That's September 20th at 8 p.m. on cable channel 25.
Paul Anderson now in at fullback spot, along with Henderson at the tailback. The pitch is to Henderson. Around the right side, knocked down by his own man.
Kearney State's going to have to thank number 74 of the Mavericks on that play. That would be
That's Matt Morgan. He just got in the way.
Kind of happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You are watching KSTV Cable Channel 25 in Kearney, Nebraska. This broadcast is produced by students in the broadcasting department at Kearney State College. Isn't that true, Troy?
That's true. We are students.
And we are in the broadcasting department.
Coach Sandy Buda might want to look at Morgan. He delivered a pretty good pop on Henderson. He might want to move him to the defensive side of the ball.
This is so true. Could be some juggling around this next week.
3rd and 10 for UNO. That's Gordon in motion. Hasn't caught a ball yet. Straight drop. Looking for Morgan. He's got him.
There he goes.
And knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets the first down. So Bob Gordon, just as it comes out of my mouth, they hit him for a 12-yard gain and a first down.
Must have heard you down on the field. That's all I can say.
Dan Gall and Kevin Lyons knocked him out of bounds.
That'll put the UNO Mavericks in Loper territory at the Loper 48.
That's just a real confidence builder for Sadler. Just to have a nice little take out pattern. You know the Flyers ball out there.
Pass was his first effort. He was sacked in his second effort. Just didn't quite get there.
Give to Henderson again. He's got some room.
He's short, but he's got strong legs. He just powers right through the center of that Kearney State line.
He broke the tackle of 44 Scott Yankee and powered out for 6 yards. I see Todd Suey down on the trainer's table. Looks like they're working on his ankle. We'll have to see how serious that is, but he's not in there right now. So we go back to action, 2nd and 4 for UNO. The give again to Henderson. This time he doesn't make a whole lot.
Tripped up by number 50, Matt Arts. And looks like Todd Gransky was in on the play too.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 4 for UNO. A big play for Kearney State. They need to stop UNO right here.
They need to shut him down to put a real confidence dampener on Stadler.
I think if Kearney State shuts it down right here, they'll be forced to punt. Well out of the range of Benisi, especially kicking into this wind.
Or though they could choose, if they do not get it, they could choose to go the same route that Kearney State did with going into the wind.
They give it to Anderson. It's not going to make any difference, Sean. Anderson gets the first down and more. He's almost to the 35-yard line.
But there are flags, so we'll wait to see if it's on UNO or Kearney State. Would seem to be in the Kearney State backfield. Looks like it's going against Kearney State, so it's going to put UNO even further down the field.
That's what Sadler says, and it is a face mask.
Unintentional face mask.
So it's only a 5-yarder, so that'll give UNO a 1st and 10 at the Kearney State 30-yard line.
Somebody's hands got in the wrong place.
First down, Omaha.
As the sun is moving toward the west a little bit, We have come up into the shade, but I know it's got to be hot down on that field, on that AstroTurf.
Right now it feels pretty good up here. We're in the shade finally.
Got a little breeze blowing.
Sadler, 1st and 10, I formation. To give this to the tailback, it's Fernandez, I believe. Henderson's not in there. Let's see who this is. Tackle made, again, by number 50, Matt Arts.
Napora, the ball carrier.
That's Napora. 34, Roy Napora. Lined up as the tailback that time.
Mike White on the stop. Second down. 5.
Napora gets 5
25.
to the 25-yard line. So UNO again knocking on the door. 5:05 and counting here, first half. That's Gordon at the bottom of the screen. But again, the give is to Napora around the left side. Breaks a couple tackles.
Stacked up, but not before he got the first down. Looks like he made it across the 30-yard line. Yes, and they give him the first 20-yard line, excuse me. They give him the first down.
First down. Mavericks. The ball inside the 20, near the 19.
KSTV will rebroadcast this game between Kearney State and UNO Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on cable channel 25. The wind is definitely picking up here. Started off at game time at 15 miles an hour, but I would say it's creeping up toward gusting up to the 25-mile-an-hour range, which has got to be making quite a bit of difference down on the field.
That's right, Sean. Kearney State takes the timeout. They want to talk about it. They want to see if they can shut down this Maverick offense. When we come back, the Mavericks will have 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line.
And we're back here at Caniglia Field as the UNO is taking on Kearney State. A little bit better game, I would say, than last year. Definitely more offense on the Kearney State side of the ball.
More entertaining, too. Last year's game, if you like defense,
if you like
you'd
defense,
like last
it was a
year's
good game, yes. The offense side was just a little slow, though.
Yep. UNO came through with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to win, going away 14-0. But the game was actually closer than that. 2 years ago, at Caniglia Field, UNO kicked a field goal in the final seconds to win 3-0. So these two teams have played defensive games for the past 4 years. Today is no exception. 7-6 with 4:42 to go in the half.
I would definitely say we do not expect to see any high-scoring game, nowhere near the 50 mark today.
Nope. Although both teams scored over 30 points last year, UNO defeated Wayne State 38-10, and Kearney State was victorious over Northern State of South Dakota, 32-27.
Quite an interesting game last week, and right up to the wire.
Split backs now for UNO, 1st and 10 from the Kearney State 19. Sadler drops back, plants and throws, complete to Gordon, and a nice open field tackle made by number 5, Kevin Lyons.
Gordon was going nowhere on that play.
Lyons was hanging on for dear life because he knew if Gordon got by him, it was free sailing into the end zone.
He was down on the 16-yard line, and all he had was green pasture in front of him.
3-yard gain.
Plastic pasture in front of him. Just coming down to the 4-minute mark here in the second quarter, as UNO is threatening at the door of Kearney State, but Kearney State does lead the game still 7-6. UNO, if they do not get in, is within field goal range right now, so we may see a
give us to
Henderson. And he gets a couple yards, but that's not going to do it.
That's Paul Anderson stacked up.
That'll bring up about third and 4.
Dan Gall and Scott Yankee on the
Dan Gall and Scott Yankee.
It's going to be an important play for Kearney State right here if they want to keep UNO's touchdownless so far in this second quarter.
I see 52 Todd Suey back into the ball game for the first play. 55 Darren Gunn did a good job while he was in there.
Timeout Mavericks.
Timeout Mavericks this time.
Mavericks are going to talk it over.
They're faced with a 3rd and 4 from the Kearney State 13. And here comes the Kearney State defense. Over to talk to defensive coordinator Terry Renner.
Kearney State's been doing the backfield has not had that much to do so far, other than on some of the long runs that Naporo has been able to break, along with
Gary Anderson on the play-by-play. On your way home today, be sure to tune your FM dial to 90.7 for the post-game show.
Kearney State was forced to bus to the game today. They left early this morning, early Saturday morning, and they're going to go home again tonight. So a long day for the Kearney State football team.
If music makes your world go round, then don't miss Rock World right here on KSTV, cable channel 25, every Sunday at 2 p.m., Tuesday at 6 p.m., and Thursdays at 5 p.m. It's a 2-hour program, music videos, and information about the people that make the music videos.
Coach Boroff told John Paluchek on the Claire Boroff show that the Lopers came through the Northern State game absolutely injury-free. He said that the Lopers had never come through a game with that few injuries. 3rd and 4 to give to Napora.
It looks like he may have the first down. No, he doesn't. He didn't get across the 10.
Okay, interesting decision for Sandy Buda and the UNO
This could be
coaching
4th
staff.
and 1. 4th and inches, looks like.
They need to get over the 10-yard line for the first down.
They're about a 1.5 lengths away of getting the first down, so they power over the center.
We'll have to see. Suey gets the call. The Kearney State linebacking core, Art, Suey, and Kovar have done a good job through the first game and a half this year. Let's see if they can shut down the Mavericks. They go I formation.
They go through the center. It's going to be a placement call.
Yep. Napora got the call. We're going to see.
It's going to be that left foot, right foot.
I don't even want to speculate. The Lopers think they've held.
The Lopers,
They're still unpiling. Napora trying to reach for every inch he can get.
Referee's trying to get, and it's first down.
First down, Kearney. Kearney State defense holds. So with 2:40 to go, they will get the ball back.
And we have an injured Kearney State player down right now. That could have been what some of the holdup was.
We can't see who it is.
So we have an official's timeout on the field. Well,
that's just a momentum lifter for Kearney State, holding the Mavericks on 4th down. Kearney State will get the ball back at their own 10-yard line.
as we look around in the crowd here at Kniglia Field, you'd almost swear it was a Huskers game with all the red and white jerseys and shirts out here. And
Scott Yonke was the injured player. Looked like holding his wrist or his arm.
His arm is possibly a shoulder. He was on the very bottom of the pile, so he may have, there's quite a lot of weight out there on that field. Could have been piled on top of him. With 2:40 left to go, the Kearney State Lopers are starting deep within their territory on their 10-yard line.
Mosley is in at the tailback position. Hurt looks over the defense and gives to the middle to Shohan.
Sean's up the center for about 5 yards. He made it to the 15 before he was pushed back by the UNO Mavericks.
Shohan really runs tough, too. It doesn't look like he can make anything out of that, but he does a good job of pushing the entire pile back and getting the yards that he needs.
McDonald, Williams, and Coleman on the top.
That'll bring up 2nd and 6 on the Kearney State 14.5-yard line.
2 tight ends this time for Kearney State.
In their traditional I formation. Hurts back,
drop.
pass.
Only one man in the pattern. The ball's up for grabs.
Oh.
Incomplete. Only one man in the pattern. The play was designed to go to Valine all the way. Pretty nice coverage over there by Orville Townsend. Did a nice job of blanketing Valine.
He was right with him step for step. If Valine had caught the ball, I don't think he would have gotten very far with it. But as it is, again, with the wind, Hurt may have just judged it not quite, just a little too much oomph on the ball.
So that brings up an important 3rd and 6 now with 1:49 to go. If UNO can hold here, they're going to get the ball back with
about a minute and a half left to go.
And a timeout.
Hurts back to pass again. It's a short one.
And
no
no.
good.
Kind of a delayed call there.
It was a little late, but they say it bounced off the turf. Little
pass intended for Lee. We couldn't tell his back was to us whether or not he scooped it off the carpet.
And the ref was on that side of him, so we'll go with the judgment call of the ref on that one.
You betcha. Banks back to kick now.
Few upset people, though, on the Kearney State side.
Bruckner and Gordon lead for the Mavericks.
Banks is back to kick with the wind.
Bob Gordon
snap.
And Brackner back to receive. This is going to be Gordon.
Good punt. Back to about taken at the 41-yard line. And he doesn't know where he's going.
Nice play by the Kearney State defense.
And almost every member of the Kearney State defense tackling Gordon on that play.
Gordon had nowhere to run.
Kearney State says they came up with a football, but the refs seem to disagree with them.
So Todd Sadler has a minute 32 and one timeout to move his team into scoring range. He'll start at his own 44-yard line.
The ball at the Omaha 44.
If Stadler's going to pass, I see him to go for the long bomb here with such short time left and with half the field of length to go. I foresee several pass attempts in this one, even though what happened to him earlier.
The other ball's given to Pedraza, who spins and gets out to midfield.
Pedraza's the ball carrier.
So Pedraza grinds out 6 yards.
That'll bring up 2nd and 4 on the Kearney State. UNO would seem to be put on the Kearney State side of the 50-yard line.
UNO going with a 2-minute offense now. They're going to have to. We got 1:11 to go. Sadler comes back, little pattern to Gordon, tries to juke his way.
He gets the first down, though.
He does.
That'll stop the clock. With 1:05 to go.
Kearney State's got his second defensive tackles in there, Metzger and Essman, in for Yankee and White. But UNO gets a first down. They're right over the ball, ready to go. This is really the first time Kearney State has seen a hurry-up offense. Sadler just 3-step drop and fires to Gordon.
Out of bounds and did not catch the ball. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 with a minute left to go.
Sadler just takes 2 steps directly back and fires the ball, usually to Gordon.
2nd and 10.
That time it was incomplete. Comes Anderson into the game. Pedraza will leave. 1 minute exactly to go, first half. Kearney State continues to lead 7-6.
With exactly 1 minute to go and 45 yards to the goal line. Hurts tried 2 passes, one beneficial, and he's dropping back again. He goes for the ball.
Looking for Gordon. He's got it. Touchdown, UNO.
Touchdown.
No flags. No flags, Sean. Touchdown. Gordon is the big play man, and Sadler threw a bullet. Right. Lions and Gall on the coverage. They were running step for step with Gordon, but
Lions just stopped and couldn't believe that he caught the ball and got in the end zone.
So just like last week, the Kearney State opponent scores right before intermission with 53 seconds to go in the first half. UNO looks like they're going to go for 2 now. They lead 12-7. Going to try for the 2-point PAT. High formation, Sadler rolls right. He's looking. Big pressure put on by Yankee. Yankee drills Sadler as he was trying to release the ball. So UNO's conversion fails, but they now lead 12-7.
Kearney State, 53 seconds to work with. Not a lot of time. They're going to have to hope for an awfully good run back, and if not, a very long, profitable pass play if they want to score once again in this second quarter.
They've got 2 timeouts left. Like you said, Sean, it probably depends on where the return man gets to. If Kearney State is forced with poor field position, they'll probably just run out the clock and go into the locker room trailing by 5.
But UNO is kicking into the wind, so that will help. Kearney State has to be thinking of that somewhat.
Valine and Banks back deep. Benassi about ready to kick it off.
Valine and Banks deep for the Antelopes.
nice kick, just a little squibber. That's a free ball.
Who came up with it? Kearney State seemed to have covered it. But we're going to have to wait till the referees get to the bottom of the pile to find out for sure. UNO signaling they have it. But the referee signals that Kearney State comes up with the ball.
Kearney State sweating a little bit on that.
Starting off at their own 37-yard line.
We'll have to see what Coach Boroff decides to do. He's got 49 seconds and 2 timeouts to work with.
There, recovering the bump. First down.
Tight end Rod Thayer came up with the loose ball. Loper's again in the eye. 2 wideouts. Looks like Hurt might want to throw. Play action. He rolls to the bottom across the middle. He's got a man complete. Complete to Banks. At the UNO 47-yard line quickly. The Loper's up. Beline in with the play. No timeout.
So Kearney State just in about the same position that UNO was in a few mere minutes ago. Let's see what Kearney State and Hurt elect to do with this.
Clock continues to run. Hurt straight drop. Now he rolls. Looking for Beline. Uh-oh. Overthrows him, almost intercepted.
Beline kind of stopped and was waiting, and then Hurt kind of counted on him continuing down the field. Almost intercepted by number 30. Dennis Duncan of the UNO Mavericks.
Also Hurt might have seen he was in trouble and just thrown the ball away to stop the clock and save the timeout.
That may have been also.
31 seconds to go. Kearney State at the UNO 47-yard line. Just one setback now. And they give it right to Chohan up the middle.
Kearney State looks like they're trying to get in close enough for Darren Grauerholtz to kick the field goal, bring them within 2 of UNO.
Right now at the 43-yard line, that would be a 60-yard field goal for Grauerholtz. And although I haven't seen him, we weren't here, didn't see him in warm-ups this afternoon. I don't know if he can get it that far.
I think Kearney State's kind of playing on, hoping with the wind at his back that if they can get down to the 30, that possibly with the wind that will get him close enough.
They've got 26 seconds left and 1 timeout. That time the Lopers lined up 3 wide receivers and just left Chohan in the backfield. They gave it to Scott. He banged forward for about 4 yards.
Ryan Sisk coming out on this next play.
So 3rd and 6 for Kearney State when we get back into action. This time Kearney goes split backs. 4 defensive linemen for UNO. Hurt now rolls to his right. Looks across the middle. He's got a man complete to Banks. He takes a shot but hangs on.
Banks down on the 24, 25-yard line. That would put them in yardage within reach now for Grauerholtz. But they still have 18 seconds to play with. I would imagine they're going to go with one, possibly 2 more plays before they attempt.
That's right. I think you're right.
Field goal.
Kearney's got 1 timeout. They want to save that to get. They want to save that timeout to get Grauerholtz on the field. They're going to have to take 1 more shot, and they better hurry. We're down to 8 seconds.
Have to play.
Incomplete.
So right now, looks like they're going to.
First pass intended for Banks. 2nd and 10.
Here comes the field goal unit.
So Grauerholtz comes on to go for the field goal. He does have the wind at his back. It's blowing straight into the uprights. This will be a 36, 42-yard attempt.
Right in the middle of the field for Grauerholtz, too. So with 6 seconds to go.
Kearney State can pull within 2 if Grauerholtz hits this one.
Flag on the play. He's going to get another chance. If the kick is up and no good, but they're going to move it 5 yards forward, I believe. I believe that penalty is on UNO.
Yeah, there was movement on the right-hand side of the UNO lane.
That's right.
So that'll move them 5 yards closer, giving Grauerholtz a second shot at the field goal.
I thought Grauerholtz pushed that off to the left, but he's going to get another chance.
Yep.
Sean, that's going to drive the UNO coaches crazy.
Oh, yeah, especially when Grauerholtz definitely has the length, but the accuracy is going to be the questioning point here. That 5 yards could be the turning point as to whether UNO goes in 5 ahead of, or if they only go in 2 ahead at halftime.
The winds are still, the flags are straight out.
The wind's kind of died down right now, but it seems to be picking up again.
Good snap. The kick up. He missed it again.
This one he missed also.
Off to the left as time runs out.
So UNO got a little lucky on that one with Grauerholtz missing both of the field goals. Going into halftime, leading the Kearney State 12-7.
As Sean says, it's 12-7 at halftime here at Alacaniglia Field. We'll be back with the second half of action right after this.
By students in the broadcasting department at Kearney State College. Well, it's an exciting first half offensively and defensively, Troy, with UNO leading the first so far in this game, 12-7 over Kearney State. Kearney State got little charity action on the field goal after miss the first time, but weren't able to capitalize on that as Grauerholtz pulled both of the field goals with 6 seconds left in the second half.
A pretty even first half, Sean, as both teams offensively and defensively matched up well. Of course, the big play right before half, the long touchdown throw from Sadler to number 20, Bob Gordon, which put the Mavericks ahead 12-7. That's where we are as we get ready to get the second half underway. I'm Troy Berryman along with Sean Clark and our cameraman Jason Adair, ready to bring you the second half of action between the Kearney State Antelopes and the University of Nebraska Omaha Mavericks.
Looks like UNO has opted to take the win in this third quarter of the second half here. Kicking off to Kearney State. Deep to receive for Kearney State will be Valine and Banks. And Benassi kicking off for UNO.
We'll see what Kearney State's first possession holds for them. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Boroff sticks with his game plan and just grinds it out, or if he's going to try and go for the big play and try and get back on top of this ball game.
I know it's going to be interesting again also to see if Valine will be able to hold on to the ball this half, as he did have a little bit of trouble in the first half with the kickoffs. So Benassi is back ready to kick.
He'll be kicking with the wind. The wind's still blowing pretty briskly at UNO's back. So Kearney State will be having to go right into that wind. This is Valine at his own 3-yard line. He gets behind the wedge looking for an opening. Can't find one as he struggles out across the 20-yard line.
Had an excellent wall set up by the Kearney State defense, but they met the UNO and kind of stopped right there, and Valine ran right into the back of them with nowhere to go as it wrapped around him. Kearney State will be starting out on their own 21-yard line.
Cool on the stop. First down, Kearney State. They begin the second half.
We'll try and check the lineups as we go. Hurt is the quarterback second half. Lee, the tight end. Banks at the top of the screen.
Robinson and Hauser on the left side of the line.
Bidacum, Fozzie, and Casper is the center. Chohan, the fullback, and Mosley gets the call to start the second half. He gets the ball right away, and he is corralled.
Number 80.
I believe that was 93, Sean.
93, you are correct. From up here, couldn't quite read what his jersey had to say.
After 17, a loss of 4.
In any event, Lutter makes the play, stops Mosley 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 14 now for Kearney State.
If Kearney State wants to succeed going down the field, they're going to have to shut down Lutter as he lines up right in front of Robinson again, as he did in the first half. Lutter again through Robinson, keeping to the outside though this time and taking him out of the play. No, that was Hauser taking him out of the play.
Just a draw play again to Hauser. Not a whole lot of running room. He got about 3. They're bringing up 3rd and long for Kearney State. For UNO, it's Lutter, Maxwell, and Williams across the front. Culp and Coleman are the inside backers. Mike Zeppelin and Mark Kinnock are the outside linebackers. And in the defensive backfield, it's Duncan, Robinson, Stinger, and Shane Starks. Play action fake. Here comes Hurt to the right, looking across the middle.
No.
Incomplete, intended for Banks. Good coverage though, especially by number 4, Eric Robinson.
Again, thrown a little bit low, going into the wind. Hurt's trying to keep it out of the wind high, so he's throwing it low, but yet he's not quite getting the distance he's needing to complete the passes.
So Banks has got to jog back and kick it away now. He'll be punting from his own 5-yard line.
UNO has an opportunity to get excellent flags on the play. It looks like it's going to be
good bounce. Gordon takes it at his own 32, starts upfield. And again, very good punt coverage by Kearney State. We'll have to see what the flags are about.
Looked to be offsides on UNO. Saw a little movement on the right-hand side of their line.
You're absolutely right.
Won't be quite enough for the first down. They're still going to be 3 yards short, but that will give them another shot at the punt.
We'll see if they want to punt it again or not.
No, it looks like they're going to decline the penalty and let UNO take the ball on their own 40-yard line.
That's exactly what they will do. So Todd Sadler will come out and start his first possession of the second half just outside of his own 40-yard line.
With right at the beginning of this third quarter, short and not very sweet series for Kearney State there to start them off. Let's see what UNO can do.
Sadler over the ball, 13:24 to go in the third quarter. Give this to Henderson. He is drilled.
Henderson dropped for
Ron Henderson drilled by Todd Suey, number 52, the middle linebacker. Sean, quite a play by Suey there.
Dropped for, looks like about a 1.5 drop. Well, a little over a yard loss on the play, so I'll bring up 2nd and 11 and a half, 2nd and 12.
Suey back in there after injuring his ankle in the first half, said hello to Mr. Henderson right there.
And a big hello it was.
2nd and 12 now for Sadler. I don't see Yankee back in there for Kearney State yet. As you know, he was down late in the first half with possibly a shoulder injury. Sadler, straight drop. Looking across the middle, plenty of time. Now he scrambles to his right. Mike White giving chase. He scampers out of bounds.
He only got about another 2 yards on that play, so that'll bring up 3rd down and very long. About 8.5 yards to go on 3rd down. It'll be interesting to see what UNO elects to do on this play, as to whether they go for the pass or if they option to run it.
Good coverage again downfield by the Kearney State secondary. Again, that's Kevin Lyons, Dan Gall, Scott Baker, and Rusty Conrad. Playing the pass very well thus far.
If UNO throughout the afternoon has on their run predominantly gone to their right side, as they have had not much luck on the left-hand side, but being the short side of the field, it's going to be interesting to see what they call.
Here's 3rd and 8. Play action fake. Sadler rolls. Looks downfield. He's got a man open. Complete. Inside the 45-yard line.
Almost picked off by number 50.
Sadler passing complete to Russell Hines.
Russell Hines, the tight end, drug it across the middle. Caught the ball and went down at the Kearney State 43-yard line. So another 3rd down conversion for the UNO Mavericks.
Matt Arntz went up and almost got a hand on the ball, but was just about 2 inches short of tipping it or possibly intercepting it.
First and 10 Mavericks. Pitch to Henderson. Around the weak side. Makes a pretty good move. Got about 6 before being tackled again by Suey.
Initial contact defensively.
Somewhere between 5 and 6 yards on that play. Looks like they're going to give him about Not quite, well, right around 5 yards on the placement. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5 with 11:38 to go in the third quarter.
The starters in the secondary are the same. The backers also are Art, Suey, and Kovar. Across the front, Yankee is in there, along with Gransky, White, and Chuck Acker.
So Yankee's injury must not have been that devastating to keep him out of the rest of the game.
Split backs give to the up man, Anderson. Punches through there for the first down.
They'll take it down to about the Kearney State 30 and a half yard line.
UNO moving the ball at will right now. Running right at Kearney State, trying to shove it down their throat.
Ball at the 31.
KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank the Palm Garden Lounge, El Charro del Norte Restaurant, Misco Sporting Goods, Nick's Euros, and the Platte Valley State Bank and Trust Company for all their help in bringing you this KSC football game.
High formation for Sadler. 1st and 10. Give to the up man, Anderson. Anderson stopped for no gain. Again, Suey with help from Mike White.
And Chuck Acker was right in there too on the play.
And Mike White on the stop.
Loss of about a yard on the play brings up 2nd and 11.
Yes, Chuck Acker, who was in on that last play, comes out onto the sideline, along with number 2 Scott Baker.
Greg Smith takes the place of Baker.
That'll bring up 2nd and 11. Even pushed him back a yard.
Pro set now for UNO. Straight drop for Sadler. 3 men in the pattern. Across the middle, complete and dropped.
They're going to rule it an incomplete pass. He didn't have possession of it long enough.
The pass was intended for Pedraza and had it in his hands at the 25-yard line, but it just slipped out.
If that had been a fair catch, it would have bounced right into the arms of a Kearney State player, and there could have been some yardage for the Kearney State side on that play.
Nevertheless, it brings up a big 3rd and long for UNO at the Kearney State 32-yard line.
I look for Stadler to pass again.
Jeff Smith at the top of the screen. That's Bob Gordon at the bottom. Split backs again. Kearney State comes with a blitz. Picked up nicely by the UNO running backs. And now Sadler's having some problems, then he's taken down.
Big loss for UNO on that one. Number 46. Number 48 in there on the stop.
Bringing down Todd Sadler.
It's Greg Bauer. Did a nice job of getting to the quarterback that time. It'll bring up fourth down. We'll see what UNO wants to do now.
4th and 15. I think UNO is almost going to have to punt on this play. No, they're going for the field goal.
Kearney State's got to be alive for the fake. This is going to be a 54-yard attempt.
Benassi's got the set down.
He's going to try it.
He's trying it. He's got the distance.
He drilled it.
Drilled right through. So that'll increase the score.
John Benassi drills a 54-yard field goal. That makes the score UNO 15, Kearney State 7. We've got 5:17 to go, 3rd quarter. It's quite a kick, Sean.
That's got to kind of put a dampener on the Kearney State team with, after stopping them and setting them back that far, to have him drill a 54-yard field goal like that, especially when Darren Grauerholtz was just a little bit off on accuracy at the end of the 2nd quarter.
This afternoon, Auburn has defeated Kentucky 20-10. Clemson over Furman 23-3.
It's got to be a big ego boost for Benassi, though.
Utah State 7-0 at the half. Iowa 17-10.
Benassi now
Colorado 10-3.
pumped up after the 54-yard field goal. Going to try and send this kickoff into the end zone. Valine and Banks have other thoughts about it.
Valine and Banks back on about the 4 and the 5, respectively, for Kearney State. As Benassi backs up and gets ready to kick the ball, though we seem to have a little bit of problem with the score clock.
High kick coming down at the goal line. Here comes Banks out with it. Trying to find some place to go, and he can't. He stopped at the 15-yard line. Clock didn't move on that kickoff. It still reads 13-11 to go 3rd quarter.
Banks returning the Benassi kickoff, first down.
Now the officials, I think they might see the problem.
Yeah, I think they have noticed the problem with the clock. It should be somewhere around right about the five-minute mark left in this third quarter.
Checking the game time clock.
Yes, and that's what the PA announcer just discovered also. So we called it first here on KSTV Sports.
We'll have to see if the referee is going to keep time down on the field, or if they can fix this problem.
There should have. Last time I checked the clock, it read approximately 5:12. So, and with there was a play expired after that, so it should be somewhere down around the 5-minute mark.
When we get going, Kearney State will have the ball 1st and 10, just outside of their own 15-yard line. They trail 15-7.
This game has been brought to you in part by the Fireside Inn, Molly's Motorworks, Frontier Liquor, Bogart Supermart, Copperfields, and L&J's Home and Appliance Center. KSTV Cable USA and Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank these businesses for their continued support.
We're just waiting right now. The referee has gone over to the opposite side of the field. He's trying to figure out how much time actually is left here in the third quarter.
Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m., KSTV Magazine will inform you on the latest happenings in the Kearney community and on the campus. That's KSTV News Magazine every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The KSTV News Magazine can also be seen Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. A little bit of confusion. We still
just a mass of confusion. We got it.
Well, okay, a mass of confusion. I'll go along with that. Clock still reads 13:11, and I'm pretty sure that it should be down around the 5-minute mark. So we'll find out when the referees have decided as to how much time should be actually on the clock. KSTV will rebroadcast this game between Kearney and UNO this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Channel 25. Well, looks like we have time for another little message. September 20th, KSTV presents a program produced by the KSC Art Department entitled What I Love to Draw. It will feature animated cartoons done by KSC art students. That's September 20th at 8 p.m. on KSTV Channel 25. Well, Troy, I guess it's a little time to reflect on what has happened here this first half. And, well, this first half of this third quarter, so to speak, this first half of this second half of the game. Kearney State on their first drive, unable to capitalize at all. And, well, we're just kind of waiting here now, too, as they start off their second drive from their own ball's tipping on the 16-yard line. As the head.
All right, the game clock will eventually show you the correct time of 9:17 remaining in the third quarter.
They're going to set the clock at 9:17.
They're going to, yeah, like
but
you said.
I'm like Sean.
I'm pretty sure that should be down about the 5:17 mark, but
because UNO had a sustained drive, they ended up getting a 54-yard field goal from John Benassi. They now lead 15-7, and we are going to go with 9 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the third quarter.
That can only help Kearney State, seeing as the ball is, they do have the ball and they're starting off their drive. So as to whether it should be 5 or 9, that could be the great controversy of this game as to who the winner is. But Kearney State lines up on the ball, I formation. And
come out passing, he rolls to his left, Hurt looking for a man. He's got one.
Banks
complete to Banks.
The 20, 30, not quite the 30-yard line. I'd say about the 28.
Nice throw, nice catch by Banks. Zeppelin and 36 Shane Starks are over there to make the hit. But a gain of about 14 for Banks.
Well, I see that Gary Hurt has finally been able to get the ball up into the air a bit. So, in fact, almost a little too bit. Banks had to jump up to grab that and pull it down for the excellent catch.
That's Valine in the slot. I formation again. Here comes Valine in motion. Give this to Mosley. Not a whole lot of running room there for Chuck Mosley.
Not a lot.
Sophomore from Florida. Excuse me, that was Trevor Pavich. That's Pavich, not Mosley. Pavich got about 2 yards. We'll make it 2nd and 8. Hurt over the ball now, 2nd and 8. From the right hash mark.
Gets a snap
Drops
off with
back.
7 seconds.
Looking to the right side. Fires a bullet, incomplete. Almost threaded the needle.
UNO was all over. Who is that? Banks? No. Sis.
Ryan Sis. UNO had 2 defenders right on Sis, and Hurt still almost got the ball through there.
I mean, they were on him like the 2 cookies of an Oreo on the center, on the stuff in the middle. With Sis being that creamy filling everyone loves.
It's a great analogy there, Sean.
Well, I thought so.
I liked it. 3rd and 9 for the Lopers.
Long 3rd down situation.
Split backs now. Straight drop. Shovel pass to Pavich.
Trevor, oh, I'm not sure. It looked like he was almost losing the ball. He had it down here with one hand by his thigh. Not quite enough for the 1st down. Matter of fact, not even close to the 1st down.
UNO defensive front, Maxwell and Lutter especially, got pretty good penetration. Kind of fouled that play up before it even started. 4th and 6 now. Banks back to do the kicking again. Gordon and Brackner, again deep, standing at their own 35-yard line. Banks got it up in the wind.
Kind of shanked it. Excellent tackle by number 59 for Kearney State.
Punt taken by Gordon.
So in any event, UNO will start their own 42-yard line. 7:17 to go, 3rd quarter. UNO already leads 15-7. Gordon comes off the field now. Taking his place, number 31, Jeff Smith. Also Rex Kamek into the game at the flanker position. But the give is to Henderson. Burst through the line.
Hole.
Excuse me, that's Loper again. And a late flag comes flying in.
If it hadn't been for Dan Gall, Loper would have probably been in the end zone on that one. Gall right there at the end with the stop. Looks to be on Kearney State. Yep. Face mask.
Another face mask penalty on Kearney State.
So that's going to push it back at least another 5, possibly 15, depending on.
Face mask penalty.
Just like the incidental
Looks like
variety.
Mavericks 1st down, the ball at the end.
1st and 10, the ball's at the Kearney State 41-yard line.
So penalties have hurt Kearney State a little bit here this afternoon. But likewise, they have also injured UNO, but not to as great a severity. Ooh!
That's Henderson.
Henderson stacked up at the line. A little confrontation down on the field between one of the Kearney State players and one of the UNO players. Some words exchanged.
Looked like 58 linebacker Scott Kovar was there to meet Henderson right in the hole.
And Ryan Siss in there to assist him on that.
Second and 9 for UNO. Pro set now. Play action fake, pressure put on. Suey just missed him and he's got a man open. Completes the pass inside the 30-yard line.
Just about dropped that. Russell Hines for UNO was on the fingertips, bobbled a couple times and was able to pull it down before. I couldn't see which Loper player pulled him down.
We've got a Loper down on the field there. There you see him. We don't know what number it is. We'll have to wait and see.
1st down.
I'm unable to tell from here.
Looks like number 50, Matt Arts. Linebacker for Kearney State.
That it is. You are so true, Troy. Those eagle eyes of yours.
Actually, is our spotter, Jason Adair, who helped me out with that. Next week, Kearney State travels to Minnesota to take on the Moorhead State Dragons. You can see that game right here on KSTV Sunday night at 5 o'clock, and then again at Thursdays at 7:30. Loper's next home game will be the next week, the 24th, when they entertain Fort Hays State.
Central Park Pharmacies and the Nebraska Business Development Center.
Excuse me, Sean, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
6:11 to go, third quarter. The Lopers trail 15-7. Right now we're looking at number 50, Matt Arts, who's down. Now he's getting to his feet. Looks like he's holding his
left arm. Possibly again a wrist or a shoulder injury. If music makes your world go round, then don't miss Rock World right here on KSTV Cable Channel 25 every Sunday at 2 p.m., every Tuesday night at 6 p.m., and Thursdays at 5 in the afternoon. Well, as the 25-second clock starts up, we have right on 6 minutes left to go.
1st and 10 now. Ball's on the Kearney State 28-yard line. Sadler, 3-step drop, pump fakes. Now he goes deep. He's got a man open.
He's going to way overshoot him.
A nice diving attempt.
Gordon had to dive for that one, but not just outside of his grasp of his fingertips.
Now we've got a man down for UNO.
Ooh, that looks like it could be a severe. He's holding his leg or...
Nice play there by Sadler. Took a 2-step drop, pump faked, looking for Gordon in the end zone.
He was almost in trouble, though, because Kearney State was coming around his left side, and he got the ball away just in time. Yeah, it definitely looks like a knee injury, which could mean trouble for UNO.
You can watch the highlights of today's game on Maverick Football with Coach Sandy Buddha and Tori.
5:51 to go here, third quarter. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 now on that incompleted pass for UNO when we get started again here.
10 o'clock on Channel 26, and then on Cox Channel 13, Wednesday at 9:30, Thursday at 6:30.
2 injuries in a row, so it's been a
Maverick Football.
slow time right around here on the 6-minute mark.
Looks like they're going to try and get him up here, Sean.
He's up. Yeah, it definitely looks like a knee injury. It's number 75 for UNO.
It's Dave Ashman, backup left guard.
So that'll bring Mike Moore back in on his position, number 52.
Also into the game at split end, Todd Klinghorn, wearing number 24 this afternoon.
Well, Ashman's injury doesn't look too bad because he is being able to put some pressure on that leg. So I'm sure he'll probably be out for the rest of the game, but I'm sure there will not be a season-ending injury. And number 52 is back in at Mike Moore, taking Ashman's place.
This is the pitch to Henderson around the right side. He cuts back. Got some room. He's inside the 25-yard line.
Almost got his head taken off there as he turned the corner. Was able to forego injury, so to speak. Down around the 5.5-minute mark, left to go in the third quarter. And UNO is threatening. It's 3rd and 7 on the Loper 25.
This time Napora leaves. Looks like Pedraza is the fullback. Henderson's still your tailback. On this 3rd and 7, play from the 25. It's Henderson again. Not a whole lot of room. He squirms forward.
Got about 2.
And we may see Benassi here again.
So that'll bring up 4th and about 4 to go. So Benassi maybe coming in. Yes, Benassi's on the field to come in for the field goal attempt. So this could increase the Mavericks lead their lead to 18-7. This being a 41-yard attempt. Again with the wind at his back. It's a good snap. And it is good.
Dead down the middle for Benassi.
That's 2 in a row. He split the goalposts on. So that brings us with 4:28 to go in the third quarter. UNO Mavericks 18 and the Kearney State Lopers 7. The Lopers are going to have to get something going on the ground here real quick if they plan to win this game.
That's right, Sean. So far in this third quarter, the Kearney State defense has been on the field quite a bit, and they need the offense to grind out a few first downs and give the defense a good rest. We'll see what they can do on this possession. Banks and Valine again deep for Benassi's kickoff.
One of Kearney State's major oppositions has been Lutter for the Mavericks. So they're going to, Robinson and Hauser are going to have to do a little bit to try and keep Lutter from getting into the backfield because he is causing major problems in the Kearney State backfield.
If you haven't been watching that matchup, 93 Rich Lutter for UNO, going right up against Keith Hauser and Wade Robinson, offensive lineman for Kearney State. It's been a good matchup. Here's Banks, 2 yards deep. He's going to bring it out. He's out across the 15, out across the 20. Oh, almost broke free. Got out close to the 25-yard line. If it wasn't for number 21, Orville Townsend, Banks still might be running.
That could be true. That could be true. Once Banks gets those wheels started, it's hard to shut him down.
Banks, sophomore from Imperial, also runs track during the spring. Has a good set of wheels. He caught 3 balls last week for 66 yards in that win over Northern State.
Kearney State lines up in the I with 2 split out to the left.
Aerosmith's the fullback, and I think that's Mosley. It is. He gets the call.
Right up the middle, and he gets maybe 3 with forward progression, but I wouldn't call it any more than that.
Right behind the left guard, Dennis Fozzie. 73, Ken Maxwell, along with 59, Todd Culp.
Kearney State band starting to get in behind the Kearney State offense here. They're getting a little Kearney fight song going, trying to get some momentum in with the Kearney State offense. We'll see how that turns out.
Fantastic's put on a impressive pregame show for us.
Fantastic pregame show.
That's right. Pitch is time to Mosley around the right side, trying to find some room.
He gets up to about the 33, 32-yard line, depending on where they mark him as he went out of bounds. She'll stop the clock. No, it won't. They tackled him before he got out of bounds. So at 3.5 to go. Kearney State is 3rd and about 2, a long 2, on the 32-yard line.
3rd and 2.
Valine comes out as
that's Banks who came in. He's at the top of the screen now.
There he is.
3rd and 2. Lopers with Sis in the slot, trying to grind out that first down. Pitch is time to Mosley, trying the left side. He's got to outrun the linebackers.
He's going to be close.
There's a flag comes flying in. That might be a face mask, Sean.
Could be.
Mosley was trying to outrun number 40, Mike Zeppelin, trying to beat into the corner.
Back line judge came running in as he's the one that threw the flag. And it's going to be against first down. They're going to mark the first down. But is that with the penalty? Yes.
Just a 5-yard penalty. I believe it was a 5-yard face mask.
We'll get the call here pretty soon. Yes, it was an unintentional face mask on UNO.
Only broke his neck a little bit. That's just the 5-yard variety.
That's just the 5-yard version. You got to get a full twist around before you get the 15.
You betcha. First down at the Kearney State 39-yard line.
Coming down to 2.5 minutes and about 60 yards to go for the touchdown.
Aerosmith again is the fullback.
No.
But again, tight end Rod Thayer jumps the gun a little bit.
Got a little anxious there.
And already now the Kearney State Lopers will be faced with a 1st and 15 situation. Kearney State trying to get some fresh legs on the offensive line too.
Keith Hauser steps out for a few plays, I see.
Robinson also is out. Here comes Thayer.
Hauser seems to be cramping up a little bit. He's getting a little stretching out.
Thayer came off the field to the icy stare of Coach Claire Boroff. Don Lee goes in to replace him.
Let's see if Lee stays on the line this time, because he did have a He got a little antsy in the first half, too.
Pitch play to Mosley, trying the right side.
And he doesn't
juke
get
his way
anywhere.
out of that.
He got maybe a yard. Yeah, looks like he got up to about the 35-yard line, so that'll bring it down to 2nd and 14.
Outside linebacker Mike McDonald, didn't go for the fake and dropped Mosley just for a 1-yard gain, brings up a 2nd and 14. Two wideouts now for Kearney State. They stick with the I with Errol Smith and Mosley. Play action fake, Hurt looking deep. Now he pulls it down, he wants to run with it, but
doesn't have anywhere to go. Gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:20, but that's going to bring up 3rd and about 12.
Todd Freeman, outside linebacker, didn't fall for anything Hurt was trying to throw at him. He came up and made the stop for little or no gain.
Referee motioning the Kearney State players on the sideline to back up just a little bit. Getting a little too close to the field.
3rd and 13 now, another 3rd and long situation for Kearney State.
As the UNO Maverick backfield anticipates pass, they spread out a little further than usual this time. Kearney State sends 2 wideouts in the I formation. Go to slot backs.
Let's see if UNO tries a blitz here.
There they come.
Picked up nicely by Errol Smith. Pass across the middle, good hit, put on.
Fumble. Nope, it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass, but it will not do. It's going to bring up 4th and 13. Kearney State is definitely going to have to punt on this, which will bring Banks back to punt.
They ruled that Don Lee never had control of the ball, and that's good because UNO pounced right on it. Big hit put on by linebacker Mike Cool, number 42.
Kind of a lucky break there for Kearney State.
Just a good hard football shot put on Lee that time. Banks kicking from his own 23-yard line.
Gordon
fumbles the ball. He picks it up now, trying to make something out of it, and it gets out across the 32-yard line, which is where UNO will begin. With 47 seconds to go, 3rd quarter, UNO already leads 18-7.
And they're starting out on their own 32-yard line. So not a whole lot there for Kearney State. They got in a little trouble with the offsides call, which kind of put a dampener on their offensive push. I would, for lack of a better word to use, I would call it that.
Strong left now, split backs. Sadler goes
straight back. He's rolling out of the pocket.
Got a man out of the backfield. Pedraza breaks 3 tackles, gets a first down and more before he's finally dragged down by number 11, Dan Gall.
Again, Gall has proven to be a valuable player today because he has stopped Pedraza twice now in breaking long runs.
Just a little.
UNO seems to be picking up some horrendous momentum here as
complete again as Kearney State misses another tackle. Excuse me, Sean. The pass is complete to Jeff Smith out in the flat. UNO trying to go to this hurry-up offense, maybe to throw the Lopers off a little bit. UNO wants to push the tempo now. Second short yardage now for UNO as they hurry up over the ball. Sadler back again, 3-step drop.
And that time he missed.
That's off Smith's hands and stops the clock with 8 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Now Kearney State can make some adjustments.
It's because, UNO had great momentum there, and they wanted to keep that going as Kearney State was kind of taken aback by the three pass plays right in a row.
I think that's right. I think that Coach Renner wanted to put some different people in some different spots, and he couldn't because he didn't have time to substitute any people in there.
But now, well, with this break and with the time that Coach Renner has been able to put people in there, I would imagine that UNO is going to go back to their running offense with 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Flag on the play.
And he doesn't make the time.
Ooh.
Delay of play called.
There's 1 second left on the 25-second clock, and the flag went down anyway. And Sadler was the first man over there to say, hey, the clock isn't on 0 yet.
And a lot of boos and hisses from the UNO crowd here. That's probably, well, well called for, as the referee got a little antsy there himself. I think the referee should get a 5-yard penalty call on that one.
Oh, they're going to wind it up. They said, yep, we made a mistake, so you can have 25 new seconds.
So Stadler getting a little break there. Just about didn't make it off. I looked over and saw that 1 second was remaining, and I little betwixt myself.
Gives to Henderson up the middle. Lopers can't stop him. Henderson drags everybody inside the 36-yard line.
Kearney State is just getting swamped with UNO running up the middle. Ron Henderson is just having an outstanding game today. His rushing yardage is going to be greatly increased over that from last week.
UNO running right behind number 76 Scott Woods and number 52 Mike Moore, churning out huge chunks of yardage.
If you believe a picture can tell 1,000 tales, then KSTV has a show for you. Modern Talking Pictures every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. right here on cable channel 25.
That concludes the third quarter of play.
Again, we seem to have a little bit of dispute on the game clock. Well, now we're back. Well, no, we're not quite there yet either.
If we can get that thing set to 15 minutes,
there we go.
We'll get going with the fourth quarter of action. UNO leads the Kearney State Lopers 18-7 in what has been a very entertaining game, I think, Sean.
I would think so. Well, Kearney State has played definitely better than they played against them last year in their offense, but they've been UNO's defense has just been shutting down Kearney State. Plus, Kearney State has been causing themselves a few drawbacks with the penalties that they have been accumulating.
Mental mistakes have got to bother Coach Boroff. He's seen at least 3 times now one of his players jump off sides. And those are just penalties you cannot make against a tough ball club like UNO and expect to win. UNO up over the ball, 1st and 10.
Lions getting a few last-minute instructions from Coach Renner on the sideline before it stops.
Here comes Baker with a blitz, and they run stacked up nicely by the interior of Kearney State's defense. Scott Yonke and Todd Suey combined.
Kevin Lyons just kind of left out there all by his lonesome in the flat, just kind of going, well, I'm out of this play.
That's right. Baker went on a blitz and left Lyons all by his lonesome.
It's kind of a good thing that they decided to pass, because with Gordon was all alone and by himself in the 20 with nothing but green plastic in front of him.
2nd and 10 now, I formation for UNO. Sadler rolls right. I think he's looking for Gordon.
He's keeping it, though.
He's going to run, and he's dragged out of bounds by Gransky after a short gain.
That'll bring him up to about the 32-yard line. That'll bring up third down and 6. Third down and 5, third down and 6 looks like.
Gransky showed great pursuit there, starting from his defensive end position, pursuing the quarterback Sadler to the sideline and dragging him out of bounds for only about a 3-yard gain. .16 to go in the ball game. UNO leads by 11, 18-7. Split backs for the Mavericks. Kearney State in his 4 down lineman front. Sadler looking, can't find anybody. Now he's in trouble. He gets the ball away. Incomplete.
Could be grounding on that one. Could be grounding.
I don't see a flag.
Referee saying no. Kevin Lyons was talking to him, but the referee stands. Must have thought that Gordon was close enough that it was a legitimate pass and just thrown off balance.
Number 2, Scott Baker, was the man putting pressure on Sadler. This will bring up a 4th and about 7. And here's Benisi again.
They're going to go for the field goal against the wind. I guess they must think his 54-yarder from the first half is good enough to put him at another 50 yards.
This will be a 50-yard attempt into the wind.
But like you said, he is going into the wind, so I couldn't. Oh, he's not even going to be close on that one.
You can tell that wind is just playing havoc. The ball bounces in the field of play and is down by the UNO Mavericks.
So Kearney State will be starting off on their 10-yard line. It's going to be a long trip for them down to the other end of the field, I have a feeling.
I think, Sean, they're going to start at the point of
they're going to pull
where they
yes, they're going to pull it back to the line of scrimmage. So that'll pull them back to about the 37, 38, scratch that, 33-yard line.
Kind of an odd play there. Ball never even made it into the end zone, bounced to the 5-yard line.
It'll be first down. Antelopes, the ball at the Kearney.
So that's not quite as bad a football as field placement as they would have had. I don't know, is there a rule that if on a field goal attempt, if the ball doesn't make it into the end zone, it's evidently not, because they pulled it back.
I think if one of the Lopers would have touched it, then it would have been a free ball. As we see Pavich take the pitch, he goes outside, drags the defender with him.
There's the Trevor Pavich you saw last weekend against Northern South Dakota State at Aberdeen. Excellent footwork by him.
That's right, Pavich took the handoff from Hurt and scampered around the right side for almost 9 yards. Had to bring up a 2nd and 1 from the Loper 42-yard line.
He'll be about a half yard short. Well, again, a place with that old left foot, right foot thing on placement, so.
Sis in the slot, I formation again for the Lopers.
Coach Boroff has to like to see this. So the 2nd and 1, spelling off your first play, because the offense really needs to get something going.
As you see Chohan fighting for the first down, he got it. Gets out over the 44-yard line.
And they'll place him just on the 44.5-yard line there.
Mosley comes in to take Pavich's place. Pavich and Mosley both little bitty guys.
Pavich being a really little bitty guy.
UNO faking the blitz again. Here they come from the corner, from the backside. Hurt keeps it on the option, and he gets out across the 50-yard line.
Hurt got about 6 yards on that play. I don't know if Hurt saw the UNO player coming from the other side, but he elected to run the other way.
Weak side linebacker was coming hard.
He was coming real hard.
If Hurt would have stopped, he would have been in a world of hurt. But he ran the option, kept it himself, and got, we'll call it 6 yards, and bring up a 2nd and a short 4.
You know, going back to that last comment you made, I would say that Gary Hurt is in a world of hurt always.
King of puns. Sean, this is Mosley on the left side, looking for the first down.
It's going to be about a yard short. About a yard short.
Number 4, Eric Robinson. Also, over there, 92, Dan Williams. Third to make the stop.
Third and about a yard to go.
Robinson and Williams on the stop. The ball at the 47.
So Kearney State has definitely got their offense going now with the wind at their backs. This is their first drive of the fourth quarter.
11:48 to play in the ball game. Kearney State really needs some points out of this drive, I think, Sean.
Yes, if they anticipate on winning this one, they definitely need some points here.
Again, movement,
flags all over the field.
All right, that's going to give Kearney State a first down.
Well, I don't know. I think he may have been drawn off by the Kearney State side.
You're absolutely right.
Center made a little twitch, and that pulled their nose guard. So again, mental mistakes are hurting Kearney State. That's going to back him up, bring it to 3rd and 6.
That's absolutely right. That's a big play.
Definitely nowhere near 3rd and 1. Which
nope. 5 yards is a long distance when you compare 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 6. Valine at the top of the screen as a flanker. Banks at the bottom. I formation for the Lopers.
Looks like a clean snap coming from the outside again.
He's got a man tipped up and away. Nice play.
Excellent coverage by number 21 for UNO.
Orville Townsend was the man with the coverage.
Got his hands right in and knocked the ball right away.
Excellent play. So,
it brings up 4th and 6 and it brings up the punting unit.
The penalty again, Sean, just kills Kearney State there. With a 3rd and 1, you think they can rush for the first down and get 4 new downs. But on 3rd and 6, they decide to go with the pass, and they're going to end up punting it away.
You can definitely be sure that Coach Boff is going to be having some words to the Kearney State players this next weekend in practice about mental mistakes.
Banks bangs it into the end zone. They'll come out to the 20-yard line, then that's where UNO will start. 52-yard punt by Banks. But it'll come back out to the 20-yard line, which is where Todd Sadler and his offensive mates will start. 11:08 to go in the ball game. UNO leads 18-7.
Well, if Kearney State keeps up the same number of mistakes, the same number of mistakes that they have already in the game, I don't foresee a very happy future for the Kearney State Antelopes this afternoon.
Strong left for UNO. They're just going to grind it out. This is Anderson. Anderson out across the 25-yard line, almost to the 28.
Again, right up the middle. Kearney State has been having a world of problems with the center of their defensive line today.
That was Paul Anderson on the carry. Gained 7 big yards on first down. UNO has a stable of pretty good running backs with, of course, Henderson leading the way. But Napora, Anderson, and Abel Fernandez all do a very good job running the ball for the Mavericks.
I believe your choice of words as stable is definitely correct because these guys run like horses, that's for sure.
This is Anderson again, trying to get that first down.
He's going to be close. He's right on the 30-yard line, so as to whether he got a forward progression or not, yes, they gave it to him.
So that's exactly what Kearney State cannot have. They need to stop UNO and get the ball right back because we have 10:26 and counting to go in the ballgame. The Lopers trail by 11. UNO jumped out to a 6-0 lead on an early first quarter touchdown. The PAT was missed by Benassi, and the Mavericks led 6-0. Kearney State came right back though on a 63-yard touchdown pass from Hurt to Banks to make it 7-6. This is Anderson. No place to go for LaRon Anderson.
He got about a yard there.
Gransky and Baker came up to make the stop. That made the score 7-6, and it's been all UNO since then.
Definitely has, with another touchdown and the two-point conversion missed by UNO, plus another pickup of two of those Benassi field goals, including a 54-yarder that kind of shocked me. I didn't think they could get it there. And he had at least another 5 yards behind it to boot, but the wind had to play a big factor in that one because he got it high up in the air, which was able to carry it.
2nd and 10. This is Anderson again. He stopped again.
Boom. He hit a brick wall there in the Kearney State defensive line.
Henderson, the ball carrier.
Looks like Gransky and Metzger, I believe, teamed up to make the stop. 3rd and 11 now for UNO, and this is more like what Kearney State likes. They need to force a turnover, or they need to stop the Mavericks right here and get the ball back on a punt.
Because with the punt, that would have UNO punting into the wind, so Kearney State could come up with very good field position and hopefully capitalize on that.
We'll see after this 3rd and 11 play action pass.
Stadler,
he's going to run it.
He's got room too.
Oh, he makes a man miss and he gets the first down.
He's got the first down. He juked the Kearney State player and just went right past him.
Troy Schubert was the last man who had a chance of grabbing Sadler before he got the first down. Sadler just made a good move on Schubert. He got by him. Suey made the tackle, but not before Sadler got 14 yards and that big first down.
I know. The AstroTurf may be having something to do with the Kearney State playing time because they can see they're not getting quite the foot action that they would as they're used to playing on the grass at home.
Sadler made a good move. Made Schubert look like he was growing roots down there in that artificial.
That it is.
turf.
That it is.
1st and 10 for UNO. The ball's on their own 43-yard line. Right up the middle again to Anderson. Anderson rips off another 8 or 9 yards.
And somebody ripped off Anderson's football helmet in the process too. So
Anderson, the ball carrier.
Comes up helmetless, but almost the first down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 2 rather.
Anderson really doing a good job on those traps up the middle.
2nd and 2.
7:47 and counting here to go in the ball game, and those big runs by Anderson and Henderson, they just keep the clock running, and that's what UNO wants to do, is make sure that clock does not stop.
That's what Kearney State.
Pitch around the left side.
Kearney State again, their left side is not pulling up to. Is having trouble on their left-hand side because almost every time UNO elects to go to the left side, they get at least 5, if not more, yards out of it.
That was Fernandez again around the left side taking the pitch from Sadler. Got inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
We're down under 7.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and UNO has pretty much, since the first quarter, has pretty much dominated this game. Standing-wise, it'd be a toss-up for the first quarter, but the second and third definitely had to go to UNO.
Draws the ball to the carpet. Kearney State's got it.
Kearney State picks up the ball.
Pedraza had the ball knocked out of his hands, and that's exactly what the Lopers needed. 7:06 to play.
That's number 46 recovering the football. Recovering the football, fumbled by Pedraza for Kearney State.
That's Brent Bauer coming up with the big play for Kearney. They'll take over at their own 38-yard line.
Well, as the ball bumped out of Pedraza's hand, there were 3 or 4 Kearney State players around the ball, so it looked as Kearney State had a fairly good chance at recovering or recovery.
3 receivers and only 1 setback for Hurt. He dropped straight back.
Pressure.
To the left.
He got hit hard.
He's got a man. It tipped and incomplete.
It bounced off the turf, it looked like, from here.
The pass was intended for Valine. Valine got his hands on it and was hit solidly
Breaking up the pass from Hurt.
by Bronson, who made a good play to stick Valine right in the back.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Kearney State. Kearney State got lucky on that one.
42 Mike Cool was almost in position to pick that one right off the carpet, but it bounced first. 2nd and 10.
He did pick it up off the carpet. That's where the mistake was.
I formation this time for Kearney. Looks like a reverse. No, it's a fake.
Reverse.
Mosley's still got the ball, trying
almost
to
tripped
get out
up
across
by
the
number
40.
93 from UNO.
Chuck Mosley, the ball carrier.
That being Rich Lutter almost again.
By Mike Zeppelin.
Lutter
on the play.
Lutter kind of fell for the reverse, and Mosley kept it, but Lutter had the sense
to realize that Mosley had kept the
stuck
ball.
his leg out and tripped up Mosley, fouled up the play for Kearney. Mosley did get 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 8. Only 6:25 to go and counting. Kearney State's
going to need almost a miracle here in this the last 6.5 minutes of this game if they're looking for a win. Both teams are undefeated so far, winning their first games each.
Kurt rolls right. He's got a man open.
That's Valine, and he dropped it.
Valine had both hands around it. Could not hold on.
I don't know if Valine heard footsteps or...
He was up. The ball was pretty well thrown, and Valine went upstairs to get it and could not. So Kearney State is forced to punt again. Would have been enough for the first down.
Enough and then some for the first down.
But
We'll put him down around the 42-yard line of UNO if Valine had been able to come down with the ball.
So Banks into punt again. His legs got a good workout today. Be punting with the wind. Shamrock and Gordon.
It's a nice line drive punt.
Over Gordon's head and into the end zone.
Into the end zone again. So that's the last 2 that Banks has put into the end zone.
That'll go as a 60-yard punt for Banks, but only a net punt of only 40 yards because it's going to come out to the 20-yard line. So the fumble that Kearney State recovered, the offense cannot capitalize on it, and the defense is back out onto the field again. The defense has been on the field quite a bit. Tonight.
Especially the second half. Time of possession is definitely swinging to the, or I believe has swung to the Mavericks side as people start to leave the stands here. Kind of figuring on a UNO.
It's another give to Anderson. Anderson broke the tackle. Jeff Essman hit Anderson 3 yards deep in the backfield, but
could not
Anderson
hold on to him.
Scored it away. Luckily for the Lopers,
only getting a 1-yard gain out of that.
A host of Kearney State defenders were there to back Essman up. Gonna bring up 2nd and 9 now.
5.5 minutes left remaining in this game.
Kearney State really needs 3 downs and out right here, Sean. They need to stop.
Oh yes,
UNO right here and get the punt back and try and get something going offensively.
Kearney State has had several breaks here in the second half, but has not been able to capitalize on one of them.
This is Fernandez looking for some room. He's got an alley down the right side, and there comes
there's
a flag.
Possibly. I would imagine probably another unintentional face mask.
Fernandez is out over the 30-yard line, enough for the first down.
Nope.
Tripping on the UNO Mavericks.
So a break for Kearney State on that one. So that'll bring up 3rd down and
a bunch. That goes from the spot of the foul. The penalty goes from the spot of the foul, so it'll be second.
Second and tough call.
About
15.
There, he finally puts it down at
14.
the 16-yard line.
So it'll be 3rd down and 14. Yeah, 14 it is. No, they move it back again, so it'll bring down 3rd down and
Personal foul
20,
against
19.
Mavericks.
Down over, 2nd down and 20. Roughly 20, somewhere in that general area. Definitely a good break for the Kearney State Lopers. Now, Kearney State's going to have to capitalize on this if they have any hopes.
That's right.
Scoring here in this 4th quarter.
You're watching KSTV, cable channel 25. This telecast is produced by students in the telecommunications department at Kearney State College. We're under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Pitch play to Fernandez again, trying the right side again.
And
nothing this time.
Nothing there. He's got back to the line of scrimmage and possibly +1. That'll bring up 3rd down and 18.
Todd Gransky that time did a good job. And he also got Fernandez out of bounds, stopping the clock with 4:44 to go.
Gransky on the stop.
If Kearney State holds them here, they could come up with outstanding field position with the wind because UNO will be kicking into the wind if they have to punt. Kearney State is anticipating a long pass play as the backfield backs up a bit.
That's right, 3rd and 18 now. Anderson again running over people. He gets out close to the 20-yard line, well short of the 1st down.
No, he got back to the line of scrimmage. He had to get to the 30-yard line too for the 1st down, and it looks like they are bringing on the punting team.
Ball at the 20.
4:26 and counting right here, Sean. If you're the Loper coaching staff, are you going to go after this punt, try and block it?
I would think that Coach Renner is going to send probably 2 people, 1 from each side, in to block.
You got 10 men up around the line of scrimmage.
1 man back is Shalene.
I would think maybe.
I think Kearney State's coming. They're reading it.
They've got to try and make something happen right now.
Kearney State's everybody. Coming. Didn't quite get to it, but it is a short punt. And right at the 50-yard line.
Bounced straight up in the air off the
carpet.
carpet.
It hit the 50 and went straight up in the air. Didn't know whether to go to UNO or to the Kearney State side.
So right at the 50, Kearney State will take over. 3:46 to go. Kearney State's going to have to strike in a hurry.
Kearney State's going to have to go with their hurry-up offense, that's for sure, because they're down to 3 minutes and they're going to need 2 touchdowns to win this game.
1st and 10 at midfield for Kearney State. That's Pavich in the tailback spot right now. New quarterback in the ball game. He drops back, looking to run. He's going to pull it down and put it under his arm. He gets out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain.
You are watching KSTV Cable Channel 25 in Kearney, Nebraska. This broadcast is produced by students in the broadcasting department at Kearney State College. With 3:39 left to go in the game, the Kearney State Fantastics are kind of playing a mournful tune this afternoon, kind of portraying the fate of Kearney State.
It's not over yet as we see new quarterback Russ Harvey pulled the ball down under his arm and ran for 7 yards on 1st down. 2nd and 3 now.
UNO's reading blitz. Nope, they stay out.
Give us to Pavich. He's right over the 30-yard line.
He's down to the 35 and stacked up at the 35, possibly 34-yard line.
Nice run by Pavich, but that clock is still running.
The clock stopped on the 1st down.
Kearney State's going to have to call 2 plays in the huddle and make sure they get up and down, up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry.
1st and 10.
Now the clock goes.
3:32, and the 25-second clock starts along with the game clock. 3.5 minutes to go. Kearney State lines up on the ball.
Again, Kearney State goes with this set, 2 wideouts, a slot back, and only 1 setback. Harvey straight drop.
He's got plenty of time.
He's gonna try and run it again.
There's a flag.
That's got to be holding, I think.
And he's close to the 1st down, but as you said, I'm sure it's holding on Kearney State.
You see that flag flying in, and he almost, for certain, but I see Hauser down there clapping.
Legal use.
Maybe she's clapping because it was not him.
That could be.
That's illegal use of the hands on Kearney. But and yet another penalty, Sean. We've been talking about it all afternoon.
Again, a mental mistake. Pushes Kearney State back after they had an excellent drive going. That'll bring up 2nd and 20. This is almost pretty much devastated the Kearney State.
That's right.
Offense.
Harvey back in now, faced with the 1st and 20 from the UNO 43-yard line.
You almost have to, there's going to has to be a pass on this one. He drops straight back.
All 5 guys in the pattern. He hits Valine in the numbers again, and he drops it. Travis
hit
Valine.
Hard. Valine was hit hard by the UNO player, who in turn was hit hard by his own player.
Erica Robinson, number 4, made the hit, and Valine having a little bit of problems hanging on to the ball today.
A little slow getting up on that play, too.
He's coming off the field, maybe a little shaken up.
Well, I think Coach Boroff probably wants to talk to him a little bit on that one.
So you can't blame the Kearney State quarterbacks.
No, they've had the ball there. Hurt in the first half, had a couple low ones, but other than that, everything's been where it should have been.
Just a little lack of concentration on the receiver's part. High formation, 2nd and 20 now for Kearney State.
Receivers possibly hearing footsteps.
Looks like a reverse.
It is a reverse.
Sis cuts it upfield, but nowhere to go.
UNO reads that perfectly. They were right there waiting for him. Dropped him for even a loss, back to the 45-yard line.
Maxwell Coleman and 42 Mike Cool all there to stop the play for about a yard loss.
That'll bring up 3rd and 21. With 2:44 left to go in this game, timeout, Kearney State.
Kearney State calls time with 2:42 to go in the ball game. Faced with a 3rd and 21, they trail 18-7.
KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank the Palm Garden Lounge, El Charro del Norte Restaurant, Visco Sporting Goods, Nick's Euros, and the Platte Valley State Bank and Trust Company for all their support in bringing you this KSC football game. In addition, this game has been brought to you in part by the Fireside Inn, Molly's Motorworks, Frontier Liquor, Bogart Supermart, Copperfields, and L&J's Home and Appliance Center. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank these businesses for their continued support. Troy?
Yeah, Sean. We'd like to thank Jason Adair, our cameraman, and Keith Terry, our technical advisor, for accompanying us to Omaha. It's been a good ball game between UNO and Kearney. UNO getting the better of it today.
Definitely a better game than last year. Kearney State has improved, but not quite enough yet to pull out a win here this afternoon. Unless, like I said, a miracle happens. Kearney State is pretty much on the low side of the scoring here this afternoon.
High formation for Kearney. Hurt going to drop straight back on 3rd and 21. Now he rolls. He's going to try and run for it. He gets down to the 35-yard line.
And that's not quite going to do it. He's going to come up about 10 yards short. Same thing happened to UNO on their last series.
I'd bring up 4th and 11.
4th and 11. So Kearney State, now, do you elect to go for it, or do you go for the field goal?
You got to go for it right here, Sean. If you can punch the ball in the end zone right here and go for the 2-point conversion.
Well, I think if Kearney State gets the touchdown here, they'd go for the single point plus the onside kick after that and hope to pick up the ball on the onside kick, because with the 2 touchdowns, that would put them ahead of UNO if they were to get it.
They have to get this 4th down play completed, though. Hurt lobs it just over the outstretched hands of Sis, and that'll pretty much do it. Lopers do have 2 timeouts left. We'll see if they want to use them. But with 1:48 to go, they trail by 11 points. And UNO now has the ball.
As Hauser and Robinson coming out the field, both of them looking very tired out there. The heat has got to be playing a major part in this game's game. I'm at a loss for words. I can't believe it.
So we'll see if UNO, all they want to do is hang on to the ball, run out the clock, and go home right now. Kearney State looking to force some sort of turnover.
Kearney State, you can pretty much bet that all UNO is going to do is stay on the ground.
That's right.
And just run the clock down.
As we see Anderson taking the ball. Arts is up there and Kovar to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. But right now the enemy is the clock for Kearney State.
This is so true. As the clock runs down below a minute and a half, this game is all but in the history books.
So Kearney State will drop to 1-1 on the year as they go next week to Moorhead, Minnesota to take on the Dragons.
And UNO will be advancing to 2-0, keeping their loseless season on the go.
Pitch again to Henderson. Henderson breaks it around the left side. Now it cuts
Henderson
back.
has room.
One man to beat. Conrad's got a chance. But Henderson's got too much speed.
Henderson just going, and it's down on the 6-yard line of Kearney State.
Ron Henderson, 65 yards. Made it look easy right there. Cut back across the field at midfield and turned in a nifty run before being pulled down by Rusty Conrad at the 5-yard line.
So this is all but going to lock the door for Kearney State this afternoon. As UNO is down on the Kearney State 5-yard line.
UNO came out in the second half and made a few defensive adjustments that really shut down the Kearney State offense.
This is so true. Plus, Stadler's passing improved quite a bit in the second half from what it was in the first half.
UNO shows wishbone right there. Anderson does a nice job spinning and gets down
to the 2-yard line. I'll give him.
Anderson was hit at the line of scrimmage.
He was stacked up in the backfield at about the 7-yard line, but just bounced off and rolled her off to his left and got down to the 1-yard line. So a 2nd and 1 on the 1. Timeout, UNO.
Timeout.
UNO calls timeout.
I'm kind of interested in why they call a timeout.
So
with 38 seconds left, they've got, it's 2nd down. All they have to do is get into the end zone. I'm wondering what they're thinking.
All they have to do is hang on to the ball.
I mean, whether they get into the end zone or not,
it
doesn't make any difference.
Kind of surprised at that call by Coach Sandy Buddha. Because I don't think he wants to run it up on Kearney State.
Ed Babbitt to the press box.
The second goal from the 1-yard line. UNO got a chance to pad it a little bit. UNO next week travels to South Dakota to take on the University of South Dakota, who's always got a tough team, and that's an important North Central Conference game for the Mavericks. As I said, Kearney State does not play their first conference game of the year until the 24th when they host the Fort Hays State Tigers. Second 1, 38 seconds to go here. UNO leads 18-7.
And that's going to score a touchdown for Omaha, putting some icing on the cake.
A flag came down. Napora scored the touchdown, but let's see what the flag's all about.
It looks like it's against Kearney State. It is.
Right.
Declined, so that'll add 6 more to the UNO Mavericks score, bringing that up to 24-7. And here comes Benassi in for the PAT.
So Napora's 1-yard plunge, like Sean says, makes it 24-7 with the extra point coming up.
34 seconds for Kearney State to play with. Not a whole lot of hope here with this, especially with this last touchdown scored by UNO. And the kick is good, bringing the score to 25-7.
Big play on that drive was a 65-yard jaunt by LaRon Henderson, who started to his right and then cut back at midfield.
Kearney State definitely was not expecting that. Took them
so
completely by surprise with under a minute left to go.
Henderson did a nice job cutting back and just out racing everybody except Conrad. Conrad drug Henderson down at the 5-yard line. So we're playing out the string here. 34 seconds to go in the ball game as the exit from the stadium continues.
Banks and Myers.
I don't know, if we were to pick a player from the game, I think it would have to be LaRon Henderson. He has put forth an excellent drive many times from the UNO backfield.
That's right, Henderson really has been the catalyst at the UNO offense. It seemed as he went, so did the UNO offense. If they could get him the ball and give him some blocking, he was going to carry the offense, and he did. He rushed for over 100 yards today.
Yeah.
The offsides penalty was enforced on the kickoff, so UNO will kick off from the 40-yard line.
Benassi's back to kick. It's a low line drive. Down about the 10.
Who's going to pick it up? It's Banks.
Banks picks it up, and he's out of bounds with 31 seconds left on the clock. So Kearney State's got roughly 90 yards to go, 92 yards to go, and 31 seconds to do it in.
What do you think Kearney State really needs to do next week in practice to prepare for Moorhead, Sean?
I would say the mental mistakes have got to be their biggest crippler this week. With at least 4 that I can remember offside penalties on the line, that had to damage them the most.
Those are real drive killers. And the 5-yard incidental face masks, I seem to recall 3 or 4 of those. Harvey's going to drop straight back. Look for a man. Incomplete. Intended for Rod Thayer.
That'll stop the clock with 25 seconds to go. It brings up second down and 10 yards to go. Ball still sitting on the 7-yard line of Kearney State. Kearney State comes up to the line. They don't seem to quite have the enthusiasm they had at the beginning of the game, wouldn't you say?
They're just playing to get this one over. Draw play off the middle. This is Aerosmith. Does a nice job keeping his feet. Gets out close to the 15-yard line. I think that'll do it, Sean.
I think that pretty much will. Clock down to 10 seconds now. And I think they're just going to run the clock out.
That's right.
It's down to 5. Kearney State, I don't think, is going to take another. Nope, they're taking the helmets off. And this game has come to an end as the clock ticks 0. So the UNO Mavericks win this game 25-7, keeping alive their string of at least 3 years of winning between Kearney State and UNO.
As Sean says, UNO improves to 2-0 while Kearney State drops to 1-1 on the early 1988 season. Tune in next week when the Lopers take on the Moorhead Minnesota Dragons right here on KSTV. For Sean Clark, I'm Troy Berryman. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next week.